Good evening, my friends, fans, and collectors. As they say, surprise, toy lovers, snake eyes, all rise, French fries, and blue skies. We are back after a mini hiatus with just some of us traveling and some of others just prioritizing life. Now, welcome to our Thursday midweek musing. Tonight, we will unbox some favorite 80s cartoon toys, look at maybe some 40K stuff, and discuss some of our personal favorites from SDCC 2023. Now, before kicking things off, special thanks to Cool Toys Club for sponsoring this channel. Massive shout out to Alex Argento and Virgil Donati for all our music beds, and of course, Rode microphones for making us sound and look great show after show. So relax, grab a beverage, stay tuned, and we will be right back after this.
This episode of Toy Reel is proudly brought to you by Cool Toys Club and Joy Toy World.
Courtesy of David Stanley over there. How nice. He's got definitely a voice for radio. Okay, I'm going to bring on the lads tonight. So one by one, taking it for the team all the way from the suburbs of Melbourne. The man who's just as sports obsessed as I am, he's definitely a serial pessimist. He loves to hate on this glorious city, but he enjoys his visits anyway. But at the end of the day, he's a team player, and he knows his toys just enough to be dangerous. Welcome, Mr. Talon Appler.
Good evening. It's been a while. And who said anything about enjoying visits to Sydney? Anyway.
You enjoy your visits. You enjoy your visits. Don't lie. You do. You know. Yeah.
I mean, I spent 10 minutes with one of our guests who's about to come in, and that's enough.
The next guest. Okay. Next, another sports and toy fan. The best Pennant Hills has to offer. The man who aspires to be Ron Jeremy and our resident Transformers correspondent. The man, the Mo, the Sicilian heartthrob, Mr. Mikey Siciliano.
Oh, that was brilliant. You never fail to, hype us all up and give us awesome intros. Thank you so much, Clinton. That was great. The Mo. Yes, I wish I could call myself the Mo. It's more like the, I don't know.
The lawnmower?
The lawnmower, yes, exactly. I love mowing a good lawn, but that's another story for another time.
Speaking of lawnmowers, right? Last but not least, right? The giant man with a giant heart, the purveyor of all things X-rated, the consummate toy collector, and a gentleman that is truly against lawnmowers, Mr. Simon Clapp.
I don't even know where to start. How did you find out about my hatred of lawnmowers? I'm a whippersnapper man through and through.
Gents, welcome. Good to be back. I'm sure Hayden, you're thinking we went off the radar, but we were just preoccupied, I guess. Thanks for coming on. But anyway, going back to lawnmowers, you are whippersnapper kind of man for sure. Couple of comments. Good evening, Mr. Rob Franklin. As always, love your company. Our Melbourne correspondent, Mr. Michael Fouché. Good evening, Toy Reel crew. Good evening to you, sir. Hey,
Mr.
Fouché. We're definitely gonna meet up when I'm in Melbourne. Daza, hey Vato, how are you? Yes, I am a Vato, and so are all my other Vatos here as well. Good evening, Derek. Good of you to join us. Thank you so much. And this guy, Talon, look at David Valencia standing.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Or I
but-
just learned today that the sultry, delicious voice for these our sponsors is actually the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. David Valencia Stanley himself. And I actually didn't believe it, but now that I actually listened to it again, you've got a
Yeah.
set of pipes on you, Mr. Dave. Congratulations.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, definitely. Good
Another
evening.
guy I can only handle in small doses.
Good evening. Good evening, Carnage Creations. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. We got a couple of YouTubers, we got a couple of Facebookers. We also have Katie. Hey, gents. Such a fancy pants intro. Oh, I don't know. Oh,
Yeah, it's like he's a
David,
professional or something. Like, oh wow.
David. Oh, mate.
This might be your last week on Earth, Talon. So there you go.
Oh, that's so good. I love it. I love it. No, seriously, thanks. Thank the smiley face he's got. I love it. It does. He's the man. He's the man behind all. He's the guy. David Stanley's the guy that polishes my turds. In the meantime, Simon is obsessed about something and where his crotch is. He's just looking there, going,
yeah, I was wondering what was going on.
We're off to a good start.
Trying to transform this bloody thing.
He wants to transform that. Love him. Okay, cool. So we have lots to talk about tonight. I am so happy to be back and to see all you lads. As you know, I mean, we've got quite a big crew, and in case people are wondering, Jason hasn't been on for a while because Jason's moved back to Melbourne, right? And we were doing roundtables in my living room many moons ago, but then we finally moved to our own little studio space. But as you guys know the format, we have roundtable discussions, but we also have midweek musings, and Thursday being a midweek. By the way, tonight, I don't want any spoilers for the last test. Okay, so if anyone's watching the first day of the last test, do not give me any spoilers because I want to check the score once we finish the stream itself. But anyway, it's great to be back. It's great to see all you guys. Jason has come on and he has just said, you will be excited to know my internet has already dropped out while watching the stream. Well,
Melbourne's not all it's cracked out to be, is it? There you go.
We miss you, Jason. But, you're very much still part of the family. So hopefully one day when he gets it all sorted out, he will join us on one of these
We miss our Jason.
Yeah. People always refer to us as the ever-revolving door of different faces in Toy Reel. Well, they have no idea because Toy Reel is a community and it's a bunch of really cool cats. In fact, we got guys hailing from Adelaide, from Melbourne, from Queensland, from Sydney, everywhere, and just so happens that we can't really fit everyone on, but we rotate. So sometimes Cookie comes on, sometimes Jason comes on. Talon, you haven't been on with us for a while since the last. You were on last year when we did the best of.
Yeah, I can't come on these roundtables you do because you do them in Sydney.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
which is
that's all right. That's all right.
It is what it is.
Someday we'll put it all together and we'll get it all done. Yes, you're absolutely right. And hey, Matt Broadbent, very nice of you to join us. Don't forget about us Bush Boys. Hey, that's why we create these live streams, because it's all about content and we can get it to you there. By the way, I hope you're enjoying your nice, I know Matt lives out, on a nice piece of land and it's all nice and quiet, the ideal holiday home away work or holiday home away from work, whatever, home. He's quite far out. So yeah, that's why we're bringing this to you. And also, can you take my comment off the screen now? Okay, well, I'll leave it on there for another 5
Please
minutes.
just leave it on for the rest of the show.
Just leave this one
We will
on.
just leave this one comment on for the rest of the show.
Sorry for
okay.
anyone
Take that,
about
Jason.
commenting after this comment, but we're leaving this one on.
Yeah, sorry, this is too important to us.
I'll take it off. So how's everyone been? Quickly before we get to our usual programming, how's things so far? Any acquisitions recently? That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about acquisitions. We're going to show a couple of things tonight that we're really excited about. But Simon, what were you trying to do over there for a while? You were trying to transform something.
I was trying to transform the X-Transbot's Omnibot or Fioraventi, as they call him. It's overdrive. And I've got it. It's just that I watched I watched a video, someone transforming him last night on YouTube, and the guy broke its foot off while he was doing it. So I was just being extra careful because it's got some XTB style engineering.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Not the most trustworthy.
Well, perhaps on that note, you can kick things off tonight. What do you reckon?
Yeah, no worries. No worries. I mean, it's been a pretty slow month or two. I haven't got a great deal in, just some Make Toys Seekers. Just the Coneheads finally arrived. I picked up a couple of the welcoming committee repaints they've done. But this was the last fella I got. Let me just... Nice piece of box art there.
Yep.
Yeah. As usual, tech specs and a little bit of a painting on the back of some of their other figures. You know, obviously instructions, ubiquitous collector's card, stat card thing that seems to come with everyone. What I did like about him, he's got an incredible vehicle mode. If I was good enough at transforming him, I would have shown off the vehicle mode, but it's pretty much, it's a Ferrari F40 looking sort of thing, unlicensed, of course. He does come with some really nice blast effects.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a double barrel, a couple of single barreled ones. Let's see if I can show those off a bit better. Usual things. I think we've all seen this sort of stuff before. And he comes with 3 pistols, which is nice. So you got the double barreled one. You can put the little blast effect on. Nothing spectacular, no paint on them, just grey plastic. But he holds those just fine. But the figure himself is actually quite nice. Like, if you're not aware of who the Omnibots are, as far as I'm concerned, they were just mail-aways. They never made any sort of appearance in the cartoons. That, maybe someone can tell me otherwise about that. But that's the figure. Let me pull that back a minute. He's a good-looking guy. He's got some really nice articulation. What I do like about the car mode is that it's got the plain car mode, and then it's got a little bit of... You can put him into a flying mode the same way Trax could. So he's got some wings that'll spread out. You can flip some guns out under the front bumper. He's got, like, I don't know if you can see there, but there's some stuff like you can have a clear roof, quality checked by 01 passed, and you can turn that around and pop that out if that's to your liking. So you've got a couple of little vents on there on the roof. Otherwise, yeah, it's a pretty nice figure. XTB have always been one of those companies that threatened to do a really good figure, but somehow at the end, I find there's always some build qualities. I always find their transformations a little bit on the awkward side. Generally, there's a lot of flippy panels, especially the legs on this guy aren't. There's just a lot of very small panels to try and get in. In fact, there's one in there that you're supposed to open, but there's no clearance. He's actually shiny, Jason. No matte finish there. He's got some lovely die cast, some lovely red paint, very glossy, very reminiscent of Sideswipe's color.
Yeah. So there
otherwise, like, one thing I like about this is because it's not, and like, he's not from the cartoon. They were mail-aways. So there's not really any sort of sacrifices to try and get, the animation figure. There's no compromises in what, like, in the transformation, in what the vehicle or the robot is supposed to look like. So it's nice. There's plenty of detail on him all over, plenty of nice paint, plenty of nice die cast. He's got some good weight. The feet are a little bit janky, in my opinion. If you can see them, like, he's just
janky. I love that word, janky.
Yeah, it's just got these weird fold-out heel spurs. It's not my favorite. It looks a little bit unfinished around the back, if you ask me. But otherwise, yeah, he's a pretty neat bot. I'm looking forward to getting the other two, camshaft and overdrive. Hang on, no, this is overdrive. Sorry, I get confused with the Omnibots. But I'd recommend it if you're looking for something a little bit different, a little bit away from the toon models. Yeah, it's a nice addition. Oh, I forgot to mention, he does have pop-up headlights. Like I said, they've done some good work here. So I'll just...
By the way, hi, Will. How are you going, Cookie? Cookie's gone. It's a very handsome-looking figure, just like you, Simon.
Oh, That Will. He's such a handsome boy himself, and very muscular too.
Rob Franklin goes, I wonder if this will inspire Hasbro to do the Omnibots in the Legacy series.
Well, you never know. I mean, they're always mining their back catalogue for something new. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know much about the Legacy series. That's not my thing, as I'm sure Clinton knows. I don't need to explain why. But yeah, I like him a lot. I'm very happy with him. I was a little bit trepidatious when I did see one of the more well-known reviewers do a review on him last night and managed to break him while transforming him. But that's Bobby Skullface for you. But a really nice head sculpt on this guy.
Well known. He treats the thing so well. So
that's why I was furiously trying to transform him at the start of the show. I just wanted to get him. But yeah, I like it a lot. I'd really recommend this one. Maybe don't be as heavy-handed as Bobby Skullface, and I think he might be okay. But yeah, he's a good-looking figure, really good-looking.
Jason goes, nobody really knows which Omnibot is which, except for the one I owned as a kid.
What was it? There was Overdrive, Camshaft. Who was the other one? Who was the third one?
He has a very GoBot looking design. Hey, GoBot.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far to say he looked like a GoBot. But yeah, I'm happy. Downshift. Jason Murray is correct.
Downshift. Yes, Downshift. Yep.
His camshaft.
Yeah, I like him. He's going to look good on the Toybot shelves. I've got a special section for masterpiece styled figures that were only toy versions, so he'll go up there. So yeah, pretty happy. But otherwise, it's been pretty quiet. I haven't had a lot in. Yeah, bit of a down moment at the moment.
Yes, but that's okay. We're all doing life, right? So that's okay.
There just hasn't been a lot of releases in the masterpiece or the third-party stuff. I mean, nothing major as far as I've seen lately.
Well, nothing really interesting.
Well, no new announcements is more what I'm getting at. I've got a lot of pre-orders for stuff. Yeah, I will say I'm excited to see Fans Toys finally finishing their Menasor and the Superior, the aerial bots, which was announced at was it TFCon?
Be interesting to see how they've gone about reverse engineering those ones.
Well, I from what I understand, there's basically it's going to be like what we call the pants former. I think there's another trailer for and I've just drawn a blank. Motormaster, yeah. There's another trailer which I think
or Road King, as Fans Toys name it.
Waste and upper fires.
So can I ask a question with that Motormaster? Does the first truck and trailer turn into Motormaster, and then the extra one turns into the Menasor bits?
That's what I presume. That's what I presume.
Right. And then Motormaster would be huge.
I think it's going to be like in the same scale as the Zeta stuff, which I think is the sort of baseline. For a masterpiece.
They are a bit more oversized looking, so I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm happy with that because you get the stability. Like there are compromises if you don't want to do parts forming. I mean, MMC done it with their all-in-one stuff. Not to derail it, but I mean, there's a G2 Bruticus from MMC, and I'm going to say there's definitely some compromises taken. The stability, like I don't like the proportions on this guy. I think the body itself looks really small and the legs really long. But
it did leg day.
Yeah. This guy looks like he's on stilts, if you ask me. But I wasn't going to get a G2 Bruticus any other way. So you do what you got to do.
Cool. Are you happy with your purchase?
Yeah, I like this little Omnibot guy. I think he's a really neat. I think X-Transbots have come a long way in the stuff they do. Like some of their early stuff, when you go back to it now, it's crap. Like the tolerance is you're literally trying to flip panels past one another with no clearance, so you get the white stress marks, and the plastic was never that good. I mean, I really wish someone would come to the plate and do a third-party wind charger, because that's the last, basically, of the season 1 Autobots that really needs.
Well,
to
we've
be
got the
updated
X
by someone.
Transpots, but that one is well outdated now.
Well, that's the one I've got. Is no one else has done a decent one. So, but that's a discussion for another day.
We can have the discussion later on, and when we keep going on about Transformers later on,
that's it for me. That's it for me.
Yeah, that's right. We got some 40K stuff we can talk about later on as well, which you're equally excited about. All right, let's go. Let's try. Talon, you love it. You love all
your favorite Space Marine, Talon? What's your favorite chapter?
Tell us.
My favorite repaint of Space Marines, I don't know, it's a tough one. I think Blood Angels are the consensus.
Good.
I've always fancied the Blood Angels.
Well,
solid choice.
Good take. Solid choice. Anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to do something slightly different for all you 80s cartoon fans. In fact, I mean, so is Transformers, and other than what we're going to talk about later on, which is 40K, which is this different level altogether. But I'm going to bring up some really cool franchises, which some of us will probably be familiar with, and this is something very different today. We have quite an eclectic taste at Toy Reel, so we're going to look at the Silverhawks, which is really cool, really interesting. I don't know how many of you guys remember the Silverhawks. Definitely 80s kid, but 20 years later. So Will definitely also is a fan, as you can see. The company responsible, I think, for producing the Silverhawks toys during the 1980s, as we all know and come to love so dearly, is Kenner, which is an American toy company known for its immense line of action figures and toys based on so many different franchises. Now, Kenner, if you remember, there we go, Dave. I know he's been looking forward to this one because he's like, Silverhawks. Here now, I'm going to show you. What you see now is basically just, and I'm going to allude to it because it is a brand called Ramen Toys, and I'll tell you a bit about Ramen Toys in a minute, but I'll also explain a few things about Silverhawks for those of you guys that need to be initiated. Back then, Kenner sort of had toys that were quite well sculpted and always somewhat captured the unique appearances and the abilities. And they typically came normally with accessories that showcase the characters, sort of bionic enhancements and special gadgets. Kenner's Silverhawks toys were very popular amongst children and collectors and children like myself during the 1980s. And I think this kind of more or less added to the show's overall success and personally for me the cultural impact, because many of these vintage toys have become highly sought after collectibles amongst nostalgic enthusiasts, including myself in the present day. What's really interesting is that Kenner made the toys, and then we had a modern company called Super 7 that also made them. And it was Super 7, for those of you guys that don't know, was founded by a guy called Brian Flynn from San Francisco in 2001. And initially, I think Super 7 started out as a magazine and a fanzine focusing primarily on a lot of pop culture stuff, topics, toys, comics, movies. And then in 2005, Super 7 shifted its focus from being a magazine publisher to becoming a toy manufacturer. Their main thing was primarily Japanese-inspired vinyl toys. And then they gained popularity for its garage toy style action figures and collectibles that were very nostalgic, sort of, again, based on the toy aesthetics from the 1980s. Anyway, to cut a long story short, they did a whole bunch of franchises, including Silverhawks. Anyway, they were kind of known for their attention detail, sort of high quality craftsmanship, and so on and so forth. But I have to tell you why I decided to go for Ramen Toys in a bit. But there is a whole series. I think they're up to maybe wave 4 now for the Silverhawks. So if those of you guys like the too inaccurate stuff for Silverhawks, by all means go and check out Super 7. I'm not saying that they are bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I wanted something slightly different, and I wanted a modern realization of what the Silverhawks are. And looking at some of the stuff that were the initial renders that Super 7 put out, and then what the final products were, I wouldn't say I was very disappointed, but again, I think limited again by its articulation as well. So I like taking photos and I like hyperposability. So that's why I like things that are very articulate. And I think when Super 7 first released the Wave 1 for the Silverhawks, I think they had some mobility issues and playability issues. So other than also the paint, and as we know, for those of you guys that are familiar with Silverhawks as well, they have this sort of very high sheen, high look, high gloss kind of design. Anyway, the company continues to grow, its massive portfolio of licenses. They create toys for everything. In fact, one of the lines that I really enjoy is the Thundercats line. So we unboxed the Thundercat tank several episodes ago. I think it was Roundtable. Anyway, so Silverhawks aired from 1986 to 1987. It's sort of an animated sci-fi action adventure series that aired for just 1 year. It was sort of produced by a company called Rankin and Bass Productions. And the show is actually a spin-off of the Thundercats. The series is kind of set in the 29th century, where a team of cybernetic enhanced heroes known as the Silverhawks defends the galaxy of Limbo against the evil monster and his gang of intergalactic criminals. I want to basically touch on something, and the reason why I think most of you guys, or if anyone actually are into Silverhawks, there was a broad appeal, I think, to the audience in the 1980s, because primarily, to me, the show sort of targeted children and I think young adolescents who are kind of captivated by, action-packed adventures, colorful characters, and sci-fi elements. One of the things that come to mind straight away is Gatchaman. To me, that they're very similar as well. So Gatchaman and Silverhawks for me resonated very well because they had those same elements. But all these heroic battles resonated with kids, myself included, which I love as far as the imagination and all the fantastical aspects of cartoons were back at the time. So the characters in the Silverhawks to me represented a diverse team of heroes, which had kind of unique personalities, abilities, and it was meant to sort of, like I said, appeal to different people. Now, during the 1980s, and some of you guys can, maybe Simon can attest to this, is that the political climate was very characterized by the Cold War tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union back then. So I think the Silverhawks was produced in the context of the Ronald Reagan era, which was at that time marked by a very strong kind of anti-communist stance and emphasis on, I think, Americanism. So this kind of was like the perfect political backdrop that kind of decided then to, I guess, spawn all these different cartoons. Would you say that would be an accurate sort of assumption?
Well, I mean, that's one thing. There was also, I think, one of the bigger things in America was I think it was the FCC or something. They relaxed the laws that allowed children's advertising and entertainment to be relaxed. So that's why there was that huge influx of cartoon with toy tie-ins, or toys with cartoon tie-ins, probably more correct to say. So there was some regulation relaxed, but as you said, America had just gone through the gas crisis and stuff like that. Billy Carter was out, Reagan was in. It was good morning in America, as he said in his famous inauguration speech. And, it was a cultural change. There was the clear good guys, the Americans, and the bad guys. And, everything was fairly simplistic.
Yeah. Okay, so let's then look at the figures itself, and maybe, like I said, do a bit of introduction of the Silverhawks as well. So both Mikey and Taylor, were you ever did you ever go back and sort of explore Silverhawks, or even Mikey, did you kind of go back and explore the lore?
I don't know a great deal about the lore other than it being tied in with Thundercats or kind of being a spin-off of Thundercats. I don't even know how deep the connection really goes, if it's just in the same universe as Thundercats.
Yeah, not really. It's just basically a spin-off.
Yeah.
They wanted to do something else that go ahead.
I've always thought it was a cool concept. I think Mikey might have heard this show. So there was a show around the time when I was a kid called Stormhawks that was sort of one of those kind of 3D animated shows, and I feel like, and when I later on found out about Silverhawks, I felt like Stormhawks had to definitely be sort of based off that. And when I did go, from what I did see of Silverhawks, there was definitely a lot of similarities between the two.
Yeah.
I personally know nothing about them. Sorry, that's just something that never hit my radar.
That's okay. Then that's why we have so many guys in the group as well. We'll go Super 7 to me is very impressive with sculpt, but articulation and playability not so much yet. I agree with certain ones. Anyway, the Silverhawks are just to basically give you a primer. They're a group of elite law enforcement officers which have been transformed into part human, part metal heroes through the use of some of these bionic enhancements, right? So it's led by this guy called Stargazer. The team consists primarily of Quicksilver, which I will show you tonight. So we've got Quicksilver here, and then we've got Monstar here. The field leader, he's the field leader with like super speed, metal limbs, and then you got all the other, all these other minions that go along with him. I'm not going to go into that. Look up, man. There's guys like Steelheart and Copper Kid and so on and so forth, Copper Twins, etc., etc. Then you have the arch nemesis, which is Monstar. He's sort of like an immortal mob boss seeking to like take over the galaxy of Limbo's natural resources to augment his powers and all that sort of shit. And basically each episode kind of follows the Silverhawks as they combat him with his minions and then try and unravel his evil schemes, because he's always got schemes to protect. The same theme, the innocent, uphold the justice in the galaxy. And hence that's why I was talking about the Reagan Cold War era, because a lot of the cartoons were essentially focused around the same themes. Now, through the show only had, and unfortunately, the show only had one season of 65 episodes, right? And then the Silverhawks franchise has left a lasting impact, for me anyway, for 80s pop culture. So that's why I grew up with it. Simon grew up with it. But I think till today, it's still pretty cool. So anyway, let's look at these toys here. We have Ramen Toy. Now, Ramen Toy is a company owned and run by a guy called Ace out of Singapore. And he's got a couple of franchises. I think he does a couple of things. He's done Silverhawks. He's currently working on Mask. Do you know a couple other franchises as well? What was the one?
Well, this would be the first one where they're actually using the name Silverhawks. This is actually licensed. Now we had Ramen Toys. Ramen Toys first came onto my radar with the 80s Commanders, which was a homage to the Centurions. Centurions, another one of those very short-lived cartoons, maybe one season. Yeah, but I was about to say exactly what Jason commented there. You said only one season, 65 episodes. I mean, that's like 10 seasons of a TV show nowadays.
Yeah, but, I know. They pumped it out.
A couple of other things, as far as I'm aware. There's a couple of they've done some unlicensed Masters of the Universe heads. I think a Dolph Lundgren looking one. There's a Maverick, who's definitely not Tom Cruise in Top Gun, and then you've got Makina, which is definitely not Mask.
Yes.
But look, it's great to see someone getting in there and digging through all these cult toy lines. Let's call them what they were. They were the runners up in the great 80s toy wars. Like everybody was just throwing anything against the wall, generally involving some sort of evil bionic guy who was trying to take over the world, and only a team of elite operatives of some sort could take him out. It's a basic blueprint for just about any cartoon back in that era.
And guess who's on tonight? Con, collecting of nostalgia. Con goes Thundercats, Silverhawks, and Tiger Sharks were great shows. Yeah.
Oh
There
my
you
god,
go.
is that what con stands for? Hilarious.
I think Con is on, baby. Con is on.
That's what his name is. His name is Collecting of Nostalgia.
There you
Well, what's an
go.
acronym for Mikey
So what's
then?
his actual name then?
Don't know.
Hi, Collecting.
Anyway,
Good on you, mate.
anyway,
Anyway,
let's go through this. So the first
Look at
one,
these
obviously.
bad boys.
Yeah, let's look at these bad boys. Okay, so I'm going to show you the box now. The box is a window box, high gloss and also metallic. Very
I
nice,
love it.
very nice. Code name Quicksilver. Tallyhawk comes with Tallyhawk as well. What's really cool about? Let me just get to the main screen here. Very nice box, as you can see. Comes with
That is
26 points.
nice, actually.
26 points of articulation, magnetic attaching Tallyhawk figure with alternate modes, interchangeable face mask, also 2 different wing attachment sets and alternate swappable hand poses. Oh, what happened? My light's gone. That's very interesting. My light's gone.
The joy of live broadcasting.
The joy,
the joy of live TV.
Yeah.
I got to say, I do like that packaging. You know, I'm a sucker for people putting some care into the packaging, and that looks really nice. The silver, good box, good box. That's one you'd be happy to display. Like, you know, if you're one of those mint and sealed box type collectors, that would look really nice on a shelf, I think.
It is, yeah. So while I try and see what's going on with the light here, because it's just gone all dark, I'm gonna look at certain things. I'm gonna put the figure on here. What I might do is cut to one of you guys real quick while I sort this out. Maybe we can come back to it. Let's go to Mikey. Mikey, let's have a look. Actually, let's go Talon. Let's look at something with ML first, and I'll sort this out.
Okay, so a recent pickup of mine, probably. So this year, obviously, if anyone remembers last year, Hasbro were doing X-Men animated VHS style packaging with some figures. I think I only ended up picking up one of those because I wasn't really a fan of the cell shading, and I had most of the characters already. But this year they have ventured over to Spider-Man, and with Spider-Man they're doing 2-packs. So the box style is kind of you'll see in a minute what I'm about to show, but yeah, this is my first pickup of the year. Probably my most anticipated Marvel Legend of the year as well, because not really, yeah, there's not been a lot that's excited me too much so far this year, but I'll go ahead and show. So this is the Doc Ock Aunt May 2-pack. As you can see, it's kind of like a double VHS style packaging. You know, you got sort of a volume 1 and volume 2 thing going on there, and then you got a little face off. Not a lot of figures on the back. Some nice little artwork there. Yeah, plastic free packaging. I mean, this is probably the only line where we will see this now for the going forward, because I think, as most people know, Hasbro are reverting back to plastic on packaging now. But so the pack includes Aunt May, which I believe first time we've seen her in the Marvel Legends line. I can't recall a time we have seen her, but pretty stock standard figure. Not much articulation, single jointed elbows. Yeah. It's
So
kind of like,
she's as articulated as a real old lady.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's accurate there. And then there's, I don't know, kind of like a distressed look on her head. No alternate head came with it, which is a little disappointing. I think this one, one of the ankles is a bit loose. I think that's obviously, you know, that's more of a QC thing. And the skirt obviously hinders all her articulation as well. So no movement in the legs there. And then here we obviously.
I'm just laughing at the fact that there is an Aunt May.
I'm just laughing at the fact that it looks like a versus set. It's Doc Ock, one of the most powerful Spider-Man villains.
He
versus
married
old
her,
lady.
didn't he, at one stage in the comic?
That's the funny part about this packaging. You've literally got like a little face off there.
She's smiling. It's amazing.
And then obviously here's Doc Ock, kind of his more armored look in the animated show.
Oh, he's fit. Wow, he's not fat.
Yeah, he's not really a fat like nerd. He's kind of
no.
He's been bulking. Wow.
This is actually quite a nice figure. fully pinless, no butterfly joints or anything, which is understandable because you got that yellow piece there. But the reason why I was excited to grab this set, and the biggest selling point of the set, is what I'm about to show now, which are the Hasbro have finally given us the bendy wire tentacles.
Oh,
which
no
a
way.
lot of
Nice.
collectors in
That's
Marvel
sick.
Legends have been crying out for
Oh.
years.
Awesome.
And what's great is if this is not your preferred look for Doc Ock and you prefer the old sort of, fat, classic looking Doc Ock, you can interchange these and you can put these on your other Doc Ock, albeit
they're
they
quite
don't
long.
stay in very well. But yeah, so they are interchangeable, which is really good. Also the ends of, if you do kind of prefer the bigger sort of arms on the end as opposed to the smaller ones on these, you can interchange those bits as well, although I did find that these are a bit loose when you put them on the bendy wire ones. But yeah, for a long time now, I think a lot of collectors have been crying out to Hasbro for bendy wire arms, saying, why can't you give them to us? Toy Biz did it the whole time. I don't understand what the issue is. Well, whatever the issue may have been, we finally got them now, and it's a sigh of relief for a lot of people, including myself.
Is there a option to give him articulated claws?
The old ones aren't articulated, but the claws on this one, they're like so tiny. I don't know what you're really going to do with those.
Yeah. So is there like a third party option or anything like that you could actually give him? Has someone made them, or is it you just have
Not
to?
that I-
furiously printing it up right now.
Not that I
now.
Not that I know of. But yeah, it would be cool if someone did that. I think. I noticed before when we only got the kind of static arms, people were getting like sort of like mini lamps, so you could get them from Kmart and stuff, and kind of pulling those out and just using those as like sort of bendy tentacles, which worked.
Okay.
But yeah, it's exciting that Hasbro finally gave us these. And then there was one animated 2-pack before this, which was the Carnage and Symbiote one. Those had cell shading on them. But I think from this point onward, they're not opting for the cell shading, which I'm personally happy to hear about that. And I think there's 2 more scheduled after this, which I definitely plan on picking up the next 2. Speaking of which, the next one is Green Goblin versus MJ, which in a way kind of makes more sense.
Also not a fair fight.
Sorry, guys. We got a couple of comments. Let's go to the comments first, and then we'll continue. Katie goes, I don't like taking my collectibles out of their boxes, for sure. No problem. Who does?
Like I said to you before, Clinton, we're just the custodians of these things for a temporary time before we sell them to make room. So keeping them in the boxes is always preferable.
Oh my God, Con.
Custodians. Con goes, Talon. Con stands for... Oh my God! Sorry, I didn't see that. Beg your pardon.
How did you not read that before?
No. It's just I've got to deal with all that. You see, like I said, the joys of live, and then you get technical things, and when you least expect things, always happen. So I have to go run around fix things.
Fair enough.
So anyway, Hasbro did the '90s X-Men in the VHS style boxes last year. So what are they going to do for packaging when they get to the DVD era? That's a good question.
Maybe this is why they're going back to. Maybe this is why they're going back to plastic packaging.
Yeah, well, possibly, and also being fairly, environmental conscious and.
Oh God, that's funny. Good on you, Michael.
Comes with a pension card. I love it.
I'm sure there's a way you could print out like a little pension card. Like I'm sure.
Well, Taylor, you said yours has got a loose ankle, like probably like the real thing, like the real person. So.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. The ankle, the feet on this are actually painted. So.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. This is not a VS set. It's an N set, and apparently
that's true. The label is the sign.
Sorry. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Would you say that the main selling point of that set, Taylor, is just to get those arms for your previous Fat Otto?
Look, I'm glad they gave us an Aunt May. Like I always
you've
love
been
when they
hanging
give
out
us
for
new
that
characters.
for years now.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, But yeah, this is obviously the biggest selling point, and I can say that a lot of people would have bought this set just for these.
Very cool. Very cool.
That was a way of still like you. I don't think you could put an Aunt May on a single card and expect it to sell, could you?
No.
I mean,
just wouldn't happen.
People who, if you're a completionist when it comes to Spider-Man stuff, like those sorts of people would buy it. But other than that, yeah, it wouldn't be a great selling point, I don't think.
Okay. All right. Well, let's come back to this, and let's pick up from where we left off again, and then we'll come back in and out, and let's give people a nice variety of different things. So as I was saying before, Ken, we'll come back to you. Let's look at Quicksilver, and then maybe we can look at some other bits and pieces and come back to Monstar. So as you can see here, people, we have
No one can. Oh, there you go.
We have good old Quicksilver. Wonderful toy. Very nice. I'm going to turn on the turntable and get that to spin around a bit. It comes with Tallyhawk, which is the additional his mascot. But as you can see here, Quicksilver is the field leader. He is the agile and swift field leader of the Silverhawks. Exceptional speed allows him to outmaneuver his adversaries and quickly also assess dangerous situations. You can see very nice. I think it's made out of a nice kind of plastic, not all the gummy stuff that you get. Particularly for a boutique toy company, they've done exceptionally well. I love the look and the style of this guy. It is a modern realization. The plastic comes in quite a hard material, so you're definitely paying for quality. They're roughly worth over $100 retail. You can buy them in several places, or you can import them from, I think, Big Bad Toy Store. The figure comes obviously with the different wings in terms of size, whether it's fully closed or open as far as wingspan's concerned. So all these wings, I think, Simon, you were asking before if they were
I was curious if they folded up or whether they got in the way of the articulation or anything.
Yeah, no, they don't fold up. They just come in different
Okay.
I would say, yeah, in sort of different
So he's got like a relaxed pose and a flight pose sort of.
Correct. Yeah,
is
he
there
does.
articulation on the waist there, or like is there a ball joint in there around the waist?
There is. So I'm just taking him off the flight stand, and because I've got a standby light there, it's quite bright at the moment. I'm just going to see if I can maybe just show a bit of that. It's blowing out, but yeah, it's got different accessories that come with it. So it has all different flight poses and his wingspans changed. The Tallyhawk figure actually is magnetic, so you can actually put him on the wrist like that, and it's on there, fixes on there via magnets. He comes with a really nice alternative face closed helmet. So you can look at the head sculpt, which is nice. Actually, what I'm going to do is quickly just angle. I'm going to move that aside for a minute and then show you the head sculpt. So that's a really nice head sculpt, as you can see there. Very nice, quite realistic. Once again, a bit of a modern take on it. And then you can take off the faceplate and put on his full closed helmet here, which is nice. Have a look at that.
Is that held on with a magnet too?
Yes, they're all done magnets.
Nice.
So very, very well articulated. Comes with several accessories. So you have open gloved hands. Very hard to see that. He's got a pair of those. He's also got a closed fist, one gloved and one open, as in without the glove. And then you got open palms as well. And then you have obviously the alternative head sculpt, and it's a faceplate, and they just fixate all based on magnets. So pretty cool.
Sorry, I just want to ask, did hands swap out easily? Is it a peg or?
Yeah, they all swap out very easily. It's all pegs, quite nicely done. And yeah, it's apparently no QC issues. I think the initial first run, there were like QC issues, but you know, as far as I can tell, holding it, it's a very, very well done figure. Feels really nice, robust. Plastic's fantastic. Finish is amazing. Sculpt is amazing. I'm actually very impressed. So, you know, You can see it's very in line with all the bionic enhancements. He possesses metal limbs, sort of granting him, I guess, the enhanced strength and durability, making him a very formidable combatant, I guess, in battles, so to speak. Yeah, always portrayed as a very noble and just character, striving to do what is right, to protect the innocent and all that rubbish. But he embodies the sort of archetype hero. So, yeah. So I think if anyone wants to get into Silverhawks, he's a must-have because he is the team leader. And yeah, there you go. Apparently, he is a great.
He's like your Lino for Silverhawks.
Correct. Yeah. Apparently, he's well, if any of the guys that watch Silverhawks are into it, he has a very wicked sense of humor, despite being the serious guy on duty all the time. It kind of adds a very light-hearted element to the team dynamics if you're a big fan of the cartoon. And then obviously you have Tallyhawk, which is his fighting hawk and the mascot. It was at Hawk Haven with Stargazer before the current crew came there and Stargazer's requests. And Tallyhawk first appeared giving a brief report to Monster and his mob. We're heading towards Hawk Haven. And if you watch that episode, after the report, Stargazer gave Quicksilver the first risk control panel, which basically gave Quicksilver the control over this guy here. Now, he sort of suggested to be obedient to the Silverhawks by the way of the control panel. So he has to he's kind of shown feelings before his original master, Stargazer. But he's somewhat of a pet now to the crew and also friendly with his fellow fighting hawks. And obviously, Quicksilver's side as well. So there you go.
Is that Tallyhawk? Does he have any articulation on him, or does he just come in that sort of static pose?
There is, I think, he doesn't have a lot of articulation. And that's just the way it is. It comes like that. It would have been nice to have a bit of a. I'm wondering whether you can actually open this and spread his wings.
I'm not sure. I think from what I saw,
along the lines of what. Sorry, go ahead, Dale.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I think from what I remember, the Super 7 one comes with kind of his wings sort of spread out, but I can't remember exactly.
I was just thinking of what the. Joe Classified did with Spirit and his bird. So you had the removable set of wings. So you had the folded to sit there, and then you had the wingspan ones you could swap out, which was a nice touch.
That would have been cool if they could have done that with this. Yeah.
So what I really like about this figure as well is that it's got these drop down hips, so the legs can kind of drop down. I think it's always really a cool feature when toy manufacturers do that. Not sure if you can see this, but it just basically pushes down. But yeah, I'm really impressed. I mean, for over $100, you certainly want something to be good. And after looking at the Super 7 offerings, I have to say, well done, Ramen Toy. Well done. Very good, very good. I like it. And if you're a big Silverhawks fan, then obviously it's worth checking out. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. And then after we go through several other unboxings, we'll probably look at the primary antagonists, So I'll give it a bit of a rest. Silverhawks, any questions?
Very nice. Very nice.
Con loves his. He wants the monster. I will show the monster in a minute, so we'll move on to something else.
I bet you say that to all the ladies.
Monster. It seems fair for a 6-inch figure. It's sort of like a 6-7-inch figure. And yes, it is indeed very clever with the magnets that they have as well. So Con was saying the way that Quicksilver is posed with the arms apart like that looks like old mate Filthy Frank from that one meme where he's facing Zack Schneider Bane. There we go. Okay, what?
Good observation, Con.
So is Buzzsaw and Monster only out? I wouldn't mind Eastman and the rest of the bad guys. Well, yeah. Hey, Aaron Ho, Clinto. How are you going, Aaron? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Okay, I'm going to give it a rest, and then we can look at Monstar. But yeah, is it worth the $100+? I think so. I really like him. I think so. I mean, if you're a fan, you're a fan. It's kind of like to get a modern toy of a cartoon that I absolutely used to love. And again, a modern realization of it as opposed to toon stuff. I know, Simon, you and I like toon accurate stuff when it comes to Transformers. For me, the toon accurate stuff made by Super's Heaven wasn't enough for me to sway my expenditure. to that line. In fact, I preferred these, so I would sort of. And by the way, I think they're making a vac metal version. So if you look at 2023 SDCC, Super 7 did announce a couple of what they call vac metal versions of the Silverhawks.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's nice. That'd be nice, actually.
Yeah, I mean, there are many ways in which you can pose this figure, but I was really excited. I was super excited about unboxing these tonight, and yeah. Anyway, I better move on.
That's a great looking figure. I
It
just
is
like
great.
the silver finish. Just looks amazing on it. Like that's really nice paintwork.
Well, the silver finish. Sorry.
It's fully painted, isn't it? The silver. It's
Yeah,
not
it is.
like-
It is fully painted. Yeah, it's so
That's
good.
excellent. What
It's
a great
so good.
finish.
Yeah, it is. It is awesome. Anyway, I will.
I want
move
to say
on.
the vac metal Super 7 version is much more of like a chrome finish on it. I want to say.
Yes, it is more of a chrome finish,
which is a lot like the original toy was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. That's you. So you've definitely hit the nail on the head.
But
That's
it's
what
an
it is.
expensive process. That's why they don't do it anymore. Really,
Yeah.
you're not going to see it in any
100%.
toy. Like it's a collector's thing. It
is.
costs a
Yeah,
fortune to do that.
Deco these days is incredibly expensive. That's why you don't see it a lot on. There's a lot of figures you see lacking paint detail and things like that.
Well, that's why when you see a figure that's got great paint, that's why it stands out. You know, in a sea of like people trying to cut costs on this and that, removing paint apps. You know, to see
100%.
someone who puts in the work and does it. G.I. Joe classified. Yeah.
Bionic enhancements. Don't you love his bionic enhancements? All right. Anyway, let's move on to something else. Then we'll come back to Monstar. Okay, Con? I'll definitely promise you we'll look at Monstar because this Monstar figure here is awesome. Anyway, let's go to Mr. Siciliano.
Hey, oppa.
Yes.
All right. So I have with myself some Magic Square figures. So,
ooh, I'm keen to see these.
Yeah. Oh God, sorry, that was horrible. So Magic Square, as we all know, basically third-party legend scale figures, and for the most part, Clinton and I have thus far collected Autobots, and today I'm going to be unboxing some Decepticons. Now I have actually opened them and actually put some accessories on them already, but as you can see here, the Megatron is quite large because he is obviously the leader, and he comes with quite more accessories than MP36, which is impressive. And that's cool. So I'll show you him in a second, and then just standard third-party packaging, a very G1 looking Megatron without any symbols. His name is Doomsday, which is cool. One of my favorite DC characters, which is nice. On the back, we've got, this is actually quite similar to X-Transbots. They have like a little kind of artsy thing on the back. Not bad. But yeah, that's Megatron's box. And then we have this guy who at last CollectorCon, Mr. Simon Flack, was trying to buy off me every 5 minutes. So
love Shockwave. Love.
And I'll have to say he's interesting so far. I've got to mention something about him. But this packaging is definitely more going for the masterpiece look. Just your black box with, I'd say, less than a masterpiece box would have on it. Just nice little picture of his gun mode there. So boxes, who cares? So let's go with Megatron first. So here we have him. So scale. I have this Boba Fett, because who doesn't have a Boba Fett in their collection? So this is how big your leader class figure would be in you see him? In this scale. So yeah, he's quite small. So this is what can somebody remind me what scale of Black Series? 6?
6 inch. Yeah.
6 inch. So
he's not
quite
much taller
smaller
than say a 3 3/4 Star Wars guy or something.
Yeah, some of them are smaller than them because they actually go for scale. They're going for scale in this line. So, your Bumblebee is really small and really well engineered.
I remember you showed that one. That was tiny.
He's very impressive actually for his size. But this guy's obviously bigger because he's Megatron. He's a leader.
I remember we were having a discussion the other day about Soundwave's cassettes, how they would be in that scale.
yeah, we will talk about them when we receive them. But I think as I said to you, Rumble and Frenzy translate really well into Legend scale. But I think the animal cassettes like Ravage and Laserbeak are very, very simple and don't really look like them, unfortunately. But that's all right. But here we have Megatron. He's super articulated. Just taking him out of the box, like this. I'm making a point of doing this now with Megatron. You shake him, nothing's going anywhere. Okay, and this is for talking about later. Really weird. Out of the box, the fusion cannon comes off the arm, and it's this weird assembly where you've got to put it in sideways and then twist it, so it just like this thing won't come off no matter how much you try. You break it if you try to pull it off that way. You have to turn it, and it's like a locking mechanism. Now this version is the more toy accurate version. This was so Clinton ordered a bulk set of these things for himself and myself, and he ordered this version of Megatron. Now, I think the only difference between this one's just called MS Toys Doomsday. It doesn't have any number or anything on it. The thing you'll notice is he has red on the inner legs. So personally, I actually like the look of that. Megatron has obviously the red in his biceps and also in his kind of rib cage area. And I think adding the red to the legs actually makes him stand out a bit more than just being a gray and black kind of robot. I legitimately think the only difference to the Toon accurate version is these parts are black, because in the show he didn't have red in the calves. So, yeah, he looks really good. He's got no backpack, which Magic Square are amazing of the feat of engineering. Now I'm kind of it's got its perks, pluses and its minuses. Optimus Prime, the Magic Square Legends Optimus Prime, quite difficult to transform. Lots of little pieces and stuff like that, like the hinges and stuff. Great figure, but like really difficult transformation, especially for its size. Because like apparently all they did is upsize that, and that's their leader. That's their masterpiece version of their Optimus that they have. So it's that's how much engineering is going into these things. So I'm kind of hesitant to transform this guy. I'm also hesitant to transform gun Megatrons because like who cares? He turns into a gun. Like you actually. So for his accessories, I'll just quickly go over. You've got this whole tray of your gun. So he actually turns. Sorry.
There's no Kremzeek in there.
We'll see. As you can see by those gun accessories, he turns into quite a big gun. So that's pretty cool. So he's got Blitzwing's lightsaber or gun, whichever one he used in the movie. I think it was his gun, Blitzwing's gun. And he got the lightsaber. He's got the flail. He's got the little Nemesis Prime or Optimus Prime clone helmet. He's got 4 different phases, including the one that's on the toy. Just in that section there. But then they have this thing. So you have a little Ziploc bag. And speaking of, you got your Kremzeek.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, world's
It does look
Kremzeek.
a bit oversized, though. Would he be
Pretty
a
cool,
bit
huh?
oversized, though?
He is tiny.
I feel like he's almost the same size as the one that came with MP36.
He's the size of my fingernail, so I don't know what you're saying about oversize.
All right, then.
But then just to
can't
quickly
recall how big that one was.
sum up in this, you've got your gun mode of Megatron there anyway, so that's cool. You've got like legit every single you've got lots of extra things you didn't get with MP36, and some weird like a tool or something. I don't know what that is, but it's different. So he comes with a whole bunch of accessories, and yeah, so I'm excited to transform him. Just feeling him now, he's very the only downside I'd say right now is he's got a bit of a hollow back here. Can't really tell, but that's all right, and it makes him more posable. So yeah, he looks really cool.
Kremzeek.
Yeah, I love me
Good.
Kremzeek. I've got a Kremzeek shirt. I've always loved the Kremzeek character.
Mikey turning that packaging sideways with all those little pieces made me nervous.
Yeah. The clamshell's fine because it's it's like tight, and the other one's just in a baggie, so that's not going anywhere. But yeah, this guy, you've got a ton of pieces to lose, so be very careful. But I think Magic Square are good about getting replacements and things like that. But yeah, Megatron's really cool, superposable. And I'll get back to you when I figure out how to transform him.
Yeah. I've got to say, Magic Square are awesome. And by the way, speaking of Magic Square, I just want to give a shout out quickly before we continue. But I have to say that Magic Square to me are like mini masterpieces.
Yeah,
would you
100%.
agree?
Yeah, like, and they're more impressive. Like, I think personally, with the ones that I've handled, I'm more impressed with them than the mainline masterpiece.
Yeah.
Well, not mainline masterpiece, the masterpiece.
And if you want to buy all your Magic Square Transformers, don't forget to check these guys out, and we'll be right back. Check these guys out.
This episode of Toy Reel is proudly brought to you by Cool Toys Club and Joy Toy World.
Yep, go online, check it out. You can certainly buy there. Slowly bringing in Magic Square Transformers. So yeah, and also many thanks to those guys for sponsoring.
I wish those Magic Square had been around when I started on my fucking.
Oh, believe me, I would have never bought an official masterpiece or third-party masterpiece.
I'd love to do the Legends, but I'm in too deep. I can't. I'd have to get rid of everything.
I know. It sucks, but
yeah, I think it's more like what Simon was saying. I think it's just too late for me. I've bought too many of the like actual masterpiece size ones to sell it all off and dive into Legends.
I'm literally Defense, Broadside, and Sandstorm away from completing seasons 1 through to 4 of the G1 cartoon in masterpiece or third party,
and that is very impressive. And I've seen your collection in person. It's a sight to behold. So very, I wouldn't get rid of that.
No.
But you could.
There was seasons 3 and 4 of G1.
Yeah,
you
could always
calm down, Talon.
Talon lives in his own little world.
Casual.
You could still.
They made season 2, and that's it. Like I don't
maybe get started on Zone.
I didn't hear anything from G1 after that. I can't find these seasons anywhere. If I hear people talk about them, but I don't know.
Well, next time you're down, mate, I've got all the box sets. Victory, Zone.
It's like when people talk about these. It's like when people talk about these Matrix sequels they apparently made. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, quickly. So don't forget, if you want all your Transformers, Magic Square Transformers, make sure you check out Cool Toys Club. They also have lots of high toys, Dread stuff, 40K stuff, as well as Mythic Legions. But yeah, if you want to get your Magic Square. Speaking of Magic Square, at some point, stay tuned. We will be giving away this guy over here. There we go. So stay tuned. We will probably do that on the next roundtable episode, and we are going to give away this little guy here. Mikey can tell us a bit about this guy.
I just want to say that is such he's smaller than the G1, and yet the V-dub bug looks amazing. He has rubber tires, the smallest rubber tires you've ever seen. And transformation is fun, intuitive. And once it's in robot mode, super articulated, comes with a gun, and just generally is a fantastic purchase for not a lot of money.
Is he a scale V-dub, or is he like the super deformed?
No, he's a normal V-dub. He's not real. Yeah, I think he's not smushed. He's actually a normal looking V-dub. But yeah, cool. Really, really recommend this guy. And yeah, that's a really cool giveaway.
Very nice. So yeah, stay tuned. We will give him away.
Are we real allowed to enter that contest? That could be my gateway.
That could be the could be.
That's his first.
Because of course, if I get a B, I've got to get a Prime. If I got a Prime, I've got to get a Megatron until I've got everything.
Yes, you do got to get a Megatron because this is fantastic.
Then you got to get Starscream. Then you got to get the rest of the Seekers.
Yeah.
But the good thing, Simon, all the Seekers come in sets, so you can't just buy one of each. You have to buy all 3 at a time.
I'm not sure what you mean, Aaron. Some would say
just keep trying to sell Simon on it.
too little, but still cool, I guess. That's what Con was saying. And Victory. Sure.
I think it's one of those. It's a natural reaction, I think, because look, anyone who's been in the collecting game for a few years, I think it's not the money; it becomes a space issue. Like,
Oh,
you
100%.
can't display unless you live in, Jay-Z's mansion. You're not going to be able to ever display everything. Like
The
you
most
guys have
valuable
seen my
thing to a
garage.
collector is space.
Space.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. It's
And
about
I think these little
space.
ones, imagine being able to fit your entire collection of Transformers like on one shelf, because you could do that easily.
Oh, you could fit legit the whole cast on one like shelf. Like it's great.
You could do season 1, season 2.
Yeah.
All
Especially
the
if you got that arc backdrop that New Age are doing. That looks
Or even
really
just the Titan arc. The Titan arc works well.
Titan
well,
arc
I
works
was
really
going to say, and this is an unsolicited plug, but TF Toys Saviers has that up for pre-order now with a $10 down.
Wow.
The
Pretty
New
good.
Age backdrop.
Yeah,
good,
it's like the crashed arc, and it's got the ramp and the volcano stuff. It's a really
Can you
nice
send me
display.
put a link in there, put in a link in the comments, and people can check it out too. So that's a good call, Simon. Okay, let's come back to Mikey. Because you got who else are you're gonna do Shockwave as well,
I've just
right?
got Shockwave.
Yes. Let's go back to Talon. We'll come back. We'll just to mix it up a bit. All right, Talon. What else you got, baby?
What else have I got? All right. So speaking of Transformers, this is something I've been excited about since it first announced, and it's quite large. I don't know how I can kind of fit all of it in the frame, but this is the MP57 Skyfire. So Fans Toys Phoenix for the longest time I think was my favorite MP scale figure ever made. And that figure was so great. Just gonna pull this guy out of the packaging. I'm not gonna transform this guy because that's just a pain in the ass. But as you can see, you kind of got the jet, the little Cybertronian jet there. And I don't know if you can see the guys like little in the corner there, but Takara have finally given us a Jazz.
Yeah, Masterpiece Jazz.
Jazz.
And then you got these kind of like little sort of track accessories hanging off, which is for a fight stand. But really excited to eventually transform this guy into robot mode and never transform him back. It's from what I remember, like this jet mode, I feel like it feels a fair bit smaller than Phoenix from memory. I know the robot mode is, which that's my only real sort of gripe with it. I do wish he was kind of as big as Phoenix was, but or is, because you can still get it and probably at a discounted price now. But this obviously is just way more updated, and it of course it's going to have a lot more articulation than Phoenix did and a lot more posability. So I think I'll definitely have a lot more fun with this guy. So excited to get my hands on him too.
Very nice. How much
he's
does that
a
cost
good
you?
figure. I think me and you had a mess around with it, Clinton, at Craig's place once.
Yes, we did.
Was it enough to make you think about swapping out the Phoenix?
What, me?
Who else had a Phoenix? I know.
I did have a Phoenix, and I moved him on before I got this guy.
Yeah, I've got Mikey and I both have Phoenix as well. I like that figure, and are you talking about the Fans Toys one?
Yeah,
Phoenix is an amazing figure.
That wasn't a cheap figure.
I remember when I got it back in the day. I think prices were a lot. I think back when it came out, I want to say like it was almost about $300 shipped here.
I think you're about right there. That's what I recall.
Which in today's money is probably about $450.
What was Jetfire at the moment?
This guy I want to say was about. I want to say this guy was around $450, which is a pretty good price considering the cost of masterpiece figures these days.
I mean, well, I know.
Like MP44 was about 550, 600 Australian. So
I do believe there currently is a KO of that Jetfire has just come out recently.
Well, this is the official.
If you're on a budget.
Yeah.
So, Talon, are you going to unbox that and show it in jet mode, or shall we just while you do that, maybe we
Yeah, I
we-
can pull it out.
yeah,
I just
all right,
have
let's
to.
do
It's
that.
quite a big tray, so I gotta.
You're gonna pull it out.
Yeah, Simon.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're thinking, Simon.
I don't know. Clinton was about to pull out his monster. Now you're going to pull out this. You know, well, what sort of show are we running here, guys? Come on.
I'm gonna pull out Monster for sure. Actually,
Are
So
we
let's-
going to open like the Toy Reel OnlyFans where everyone pulls it out?
I love that.
Trevor is watching and he says, I think I hit Jetfire a tad cheaper than that from BBTS ship, but not by not that much. So yeah.
Trevor Hopkins. Hi, Trev.
Takara's prices
I got
are
this.
pretty much wild at the moment. Like, I mean, go back to the Seekers. You know, the first time you bought them as MP5, I think it was like $150. And then what? MP 52, whatever number he is, it was like $300. It's
Yeah.
And that's probably
Was
the
I
last time I ever buy that friggin' Seeker again. I'm never replacing him. I'm not going to buy it for
Yeah, sorry, Taylor, I'm muting you while you're opening those bits and
Okay,
pieces.
I thought
yeah.
for a second I was muted that entire time. I was
No,
talking about
I've
this figure.
just muted you for a minute.
You were. It's all good.
I was
So,
like, oh shit! Do I have to repeat everything?
No,
you're
Yeah,
good.
I'm just pulling him out
Just-
now.
Hang on. Give us a sec. Hello, Trevor. Thank you for joining us. Hello, lads. He goes, and yeah, good to
Hi,
see you
Trev.
on the channel.
Yeah, I was just touching on what Trevor
wait.
mentioned.
Taylor. Now you may speak. Go ahead.
I was just touching on what Trevor mentioned. I think I got this guy from a special source that we won't name, but if you're watching, you know who you are. Yeah, this guy is quite nice. You got a fair bit of like these sort of panels here. They're die cast and not near as much die cast as what was on Fans Toys Phoenix. And you got the little cockpit open where you can put those little Autobots in. But yeah, overall a fairly impressive jet mode. Obviously,
How heavy is it?
it's got a solid weight to it. It's not as it's definitely lighter than Phoenix in jet mode.
Okay.
But I'm still pretty happy with the weight to it. It's definitely not as hollow as like Trailbreaker.
Yeah, it doesn't feel cheap.
Yeah.
It's definitely got some cool gimmicks from what I remember, like the compartments that open up. You can put the other bots in. Like I did like the land-in, the door with the little strip that comes down. You can have the guys posed walking down it. I thought that was a pretty cool touch.
Did you buy one, Simon?
No. I'm sticking with the Jetfire. Like he's not a character that. I mean, for one thing, like I had the old Robotech Valkyrie, so I'm not like particularly married to the animation model on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as you can see over my shoulder there, I got there's my Jetfire standing proud at the back, and he does the job I need him to. So,
correct me if I am wrong, but I believe this is the first ever Transformer to officially be put out as Skyfire.
Could very well, but
maybe one of the Takara ones possibly was called Skyfire, like
wasn't there robots in disguise? They used the name.
Yeah, but not as intended, like as in the G1 version.
But I do remember a white and red jet, like reminiscent of him, called Skyfire.
I think the Takara version of the Universe mold was possibly called Skyfire. I think they might just call all Takara Jetfire Skyfire. So he's definitely the first masterpiece.
It's actually some really nice detail on the landing gear, like nice metallic paint on it.
Do they roll?
I'm about to test that out in a second, but it does all. Yeah, he does roll rather nicely, actually. I mean, not like Actually, I think the original toy probably rolls a bit better than this, but it does the job. It stands.
We'll get there, Con. We'll get there in a minute. Just give us a sec. We want to look at.
I'll just leave this guy here for now, and then
Trevor goes, yeah, he was a little Decepticon redo of G2 toy, the RID one.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Trevor. Trevor is the owner and proprietor of the Transformatorium, which is an amazing, massive collection
which we are going to go and visit one day, aren't we?
We're going to visit one day. Actually, Trevor, can we come and stay with you for maybe a weekend?
Can we just
That'll be
live at
good.
your place? Can we just live rent free? Can we just, we just crash
come
there?
and hang out. We got to do a
hang
story. We got to do a story, a nice little story piece on Trevor as well. I mean, I think Jason and I were planning to do that many moons ago, but we just never got around.
It'd be cool for us to do an interview of him, but he's already done a great kind of biopic on himself and the Transformatorium, which is really cool.
Well,
not a biopic, little interview.
He hasn't got this. He hasn't got the tutorial treatment yet, mate. Once he gets the story done, when we do it properly with Dave, and look at Simon.
I know exactly what the tutorial treatment is, and it really hurts.
Yeah. You gotta prepare yourself.
Can I come, Trevor? Yeah, sure. You could ask Trevor. You can ask me. You got Trevor. That's why I can. Very cool. So quickly show us your. Are you going to try and actually? You're not going to transform him on the show, are you?
Oh no, I'm not going to transform him. One thing I do kind of have a nitpick is there's I don't know if you guys can see, but there's these little gaps here, and I wish there was a way they could have filled those in.
But didn't even the Phoenix have that?
The Phoenix is a pretty solid. Oh God, I don't know.
Honestly,
last time I had him transformed.
When I eventually get this guy into robot mode, he's not going back into jet mode. So
I love Trevor. Always welcome, lads. I do walk around painted yellow naked as Bumblebee most Saturday mornings.
Don't challenge me with a good time, Trevor. That sounds amazing.
By the way, Trevor is a personality. If you guys caught our live stream from Rise of the Beast, Trevor was on one of those episodes. And Trevor also does his own videos and he's online. He's got a nice little blog site that talks about Transformers.
Yeah, it's got a good Facebook page.
So actually, Mikey, can you find that and put a link on the comments and people can check it out? I would highly recommend anyone check out Trevor's collection as well as his socials. So thank you very much, Trevor. Always a pleasure dealing with you, and also your participation as well. So thank you. Cool. Shall we? So Con, do you want to do Monster now?
I wanted to see Shockwave, man. Come on, I only came here for Shockwave, not to hang out with you guys.
How do I make a comment?
Hang on. What did we will see Shockwave, but we're gonna just break it up a bit. Or we can do Shockwave first, then we do Monster. Okay? How's that?
Yay. I want to hear what Mikey's got to say about him.
Yeah. So Con goes, I'm a bit of a Grimlock on Sunday morning after Town 2, Trevor. All right, Mikey, you are
all right. Okay, so the other figure that I have opened is Shockwave.
Ooh,
he looks great. He comes with. I'll just go over all the good first, and then I'll just do the questionable. Like the problem I have with it is very easy fix. So with this version, you get a lot of accessories. So as with the G1 Shockwave, he has the translucent hands. So you've got every single hand accessory you have in molded purple plastic or translucent purple plastic. So that's cool. I don't know what that is. Some kind of yellow
what's
thing.
the paper thing in there? It's not a little sticker sheet or something, is it?
I've got to ask a question. I don't know what these things are. Megatron and Shockwave have come with. It's in a language that I'm not familiar with. Look at this. What is that? What's that thing?
It looks like a tiny lightsaber.
No, it's just a little it's only that little metal bit.
Maybe it's some kind of tool. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that was in the little bag.
Both Megatron and Shockwave. These are the first two that have come with this. So again, it's in Japanese.
I got to say, there's not a lot of Magic Square aficionados out there to be able to tell us. Maybe Trevor might be able to enlighten us. But that's a new thing. So that's cool. Yeah. And this comes like packet or something.
Yeah, it comes. Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
So yes, they're his accessories, and then his very masterpiece Shockwave, which, in my opinion, masterpiece Shockwave is one of my favorite masterpieces because it's just really cool. In the fact that he has this removable piece on the back that I'm guessing does turn into a stand for the gun mode, so you don't have to just leave it down. So you just take this off, and then you have to transform it. Does come with 2 rubber hoses because Shockwave's rubber hose is known for breaking from time to time. And of course, Shockwave always comes with a little tiny version of himself to play with himself. So that's great. So he looks great. He's very posable, but the only thing is he has ball jointed hips, and they're very loose, unfortunately. So they do a bit of the ragdoll thing. But that can be fixed with nail polish, which I've done before. But other than that, just look at him. We'll put Megatron next to him. Really cool looking miniature, very small versions, extremely posable, like posability wise.
They do scale nice.
Oh yeah. And they, again, like your mini bots are going to be small. I do have Skyfire, which we can unbox another time, but he's actually almost the size of the Deluxe, or a bit bigger because he's a big boy. But yeah, look, he's got all the articulation you need. The head sculpt's amazing. You don't need alternate heads for Shockwave because it's Shockwave. And yeah, I'm just hoping he's as ingenuitive, or no, not that word. I'm hoping he's as intuitive. That's the word. As the masterpiece. So yeah, he looks really cool. But yeah, again, just it's a bit unnerving that the ball joints are loose, which does kind of suck. But again, like all you have to do is put a little bit of floor polish. Oh, not floor polish. That's an American thing. Nail polish on it, and then just do what you do with that. But yeah, he looks really, really, really good, and I'm really excited about this guy. So once I figure out the transformations on both these, I'll make my final opinion on them. But so far, just having them in hand, Megatron is the more structurally sound of both. But look at them, they're just hand size, palm of your hand size. Masterpiece figures, and they are masterpieces because they're great.
Jason goes, Shockwave does look good, but he also looks a bit like of a chunk.
Yeah, definitely chunkier than the masterpiece, I'd say, because the masterpiece is a bit slimmer. But in my opinion, the masterpiece is too slim. But this guy, I think I like his chunk, to be honest.
Yeah, chunky. In a way, Jason goes, in a way, he looks more like a mini Fans Toys Quakewave than a mini masterpiece Shockwave.
Yeah, but I'll let you guys know once I have transformed him.
Quakewave is a better figure.
I strongly disagree, but that's your opinion, and you're allowed to have it.
Wow, that's going back. That's going.
Quakewave,
Yeah.
that's the first ever bloody.
Pretty much fan to it. That's the one that put them on the map.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Them and the Dinobots.
Yeah, because I think
I do.
Well, it was called FTO. Was it FTO 2 or FTO 3? Because I think FTO 1 was the trailer for MP01 Prime.
Yeah, that's how they got their start, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, a nice fun fact from Trevor. He goes, Jason, if you glue enough of the mini Quakewaves together, it makes a MP Shockwave. Fun fact.
Oh.
And then
adds
Jason
up.
goes, I thought Quakewave was FT06. Well, there you go, Simon. You can
Yeah, but
probably answer
who remembers the numbers and the acronyms and all that stuff? It's Shockwave.
No, Fans Toys. No. 02 was supposed to be acoustic wave. Sound
Yeah,
wave.
and then they delayed him.
Quakewave was
Quakewave was
FT03.
03. Yeah.
FT03. There you go. Alrighty then. Let's do Monster. I'll show you Monster. You want to see Monster? Let's go Monster.
Clinton, I would love to see your monster. Whip it out.
It's very impressive. It's very impressive.
Let's look at the box first, shall we? Shall we look at the box?
Oh, if you want to show us your box too, that's great.
There we go. That's the box. That's a very
Con
nice
loves the
box.
box.
Not as impressive as the silver one.
Yes, certainly not as impressive, I know, but nonetheless, not bad. Not bad. I mean, these,
No,
you know,
not at all.
gotta say nowadays, like companies are really spending a lot of time and effort on packaging, and I think it's a wonderful thing. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Like,
you know,
this
it's
is
all
collector's stuff. This isn't like a, you're going to find this on a shelf of Kmart. Like,
Yeah.
you charge enough for it. I don't care if it's an extra $1, as long as put the box, make a nice box, a homage to the past or something, little nods. Fans Hobby does a good job of that.
Yep. But I got to say, I love companies that spend a bit of time doing all the art. Once again, a window box, beautiful, nice finish, some little tiny embossed bits, I think. No, not really embossed, but I don't know. Every time packaging to me like that comes out, it gives me a real premium feel and gives me great confidence to buy a product for sure. So codename Monster, head of the Limbo mob for over 300 years, uses the light of Limbo's Moonstar to become entirely covered in robotic armor. He comes with Sky Shadow and is a red skin gargoyle that is converted into a cyborg. So those two figures come in this beautiful, glorious box amongst many other things, including accessories. And the bonus accessory that you have when you buy this Ramen Toy Monster is that you have a display stand for Quicksilver. You can use anything else. You can use third-party stands, but here's the stand that comes for Quicksilver. So buy Monster and you get a nice branded, Silverhawks stand for Quicksilver. Now let's go bring the bad boy in, and there we have it in all his glory. I mean, it is a very nice finish, gorgeous figure. Comes with all the different accessories, but I'm going to show you, see whether I can do a little close up quickly. Now that the light hasn't failed me, I don't know what. Like I said, always with live streams, look at that.
Wow. What a great metallic red.
It is a beautiful metallic red. Show me the box. Con, I already shown you the box. Hope we can get his space squid. Yep, absolutely. Different heads. I'm going to show you the other head sculpt as well. So as I said, it does come.
Turbo Man. Right.
Huh?
It reminded me of Turbo Man. I was trying to think of the thing that reminded me of it's Turbo Man, but just because of the colors. Don't mind me.
Yeah, that's right. That's cool. So we'll go again, have a look at the figure up close and personal. It stands approximately, what I would say, 7 to 8 inches. Quite a big figure. Monster has always been massive. Made of, I think, ABS and PVC plastic. Very nice quality again. It feels nice to the touch. It's based on the classic Silverhawks, 80s classic Silverhawks, but again, once I said modern realization, so it's not really supposedly too inaccurate. About 28 points of articulation, feels nice and like it's solid to the touch. I think some initial releases had some QC issues, but I think Ramen Toy have since addressed that. Very detailed, collector-friendly window box packaging. Like I said, this is actually, believe it or not, even though it's made by Ramen Toys, it's actually properly licensed by Super 7. Go figure. So I think Ramen Toys had a sort of agreement with Super 7 to also license this stuff. So you got the figure itself in the box. You got 2 head sculpts, 4 pairs of hands. He does have a very nice rifle, which I'll show you in a minute. And also you got like elbow thrusters with some thrust effects, which I'll show you in a second. And then you have the Sky Shadow figure. So
can you get in tight on the head sculpt there?
Yeah, let's see if I can go in tight. Can you see that?
That's good. Wow. What a cool head.
Is it sharp?
How sharp are those spikes?
Yeah, is it sharp?
Sorry?
Would they take a 3-year-old's eye out, those spikes?
No, they don't. They're actually okay. They're not too bad. So that's Sky Shadow here. Very nice again.
Oh, it's Rat Bat. That's sick.
Rat Bat. Yes. It is very nice. Let me show you the other bit. So you have a very nice all the accessories. And that's a very nice rifle.
Cool.
Oh, damn.
So that's beautiful. Then you have the 4 pairs of hands. You got the blast effects here, which you put on the elbow. See if I can see that. Yeah, there you go.
So does he give out like rocket punches or something?
Yeah. Let's go, and then I'll show you the other head. Let's have a look. Have we got any comments there? Oh, Con, you are frothing, aren't you? Show me the box. Hope we can get Space Squid, Skyrunner. He looks awesome. I agree, man. He looks amazing, dude. You gotta get these, Con. You gotta get these. That head sculpt is fantastic. Look at this. I'll show
Have
you.
Ramen Toy done all the characters Con named?
No, they haven't. So that's the alternative head sculpt. Glorious.
Is that just a
glorious.
closed mouth? Is that the only difference? Or?
Yes, correct. So you got the open and the closed. I'm going to see if I can show you side by side. Can you see that?
Nice. I like that, man. That's really cool.
So, I decided to go for Ramen Toy because it's not too inaccurate, but what the hell? I like it. I like the fact that they put a bit of thought into it. They didn't skimp on some of the raw materials. The plastic feels good. Really well made, hyper articulated compared to the Super 7 counterparts. I love it. I just think they're worth doing. But anyway, quickly, shall I just give people a bit of a primer on Monstar? Why the fuck not? Eh?
Yeah, man. I have no idea who he is. So I want to know.
He's okay, no problem. He's the primary antagonist. Monstar is the central antagonist of the series, and he's pretty, I would say, the main adversary of the Silverhawks. Super malevolent and powerful with all these grand ambitions, the same shit. You get all these immortal mob bosses. He possesses actually immortality, making him sort of a constant threat to the galaxy. That's why all these cowboys got to come and try and save the galaxy, right? But he has a very intimidating presence, as you can see. Nice big guy, right? Challenging foe to defeat. Transformation. Monstar can transform into a monstrous energy-based form, granting him all this amazing power. And his ability serves as a very formidable advantage in his battle against Quicksilver and the rest of the team. Now, he has great greed and ambition. He's driven by a desire for conquest and control. And he's definitely seeking to dominate the galaxy of Limbo and to exploit its resources for his own gain. Let's see what else. Looks like the evil version of the Tick. Yes, Trevor, I'm sure you would like a figure of that for sure. Well, you can buy this, then you can get your evil version Tick. There you go. What did Con say? The alternative is the cartoon correct head. His mouth never moved when he spoke in armor mode. Mate, your Silverhawk stuff. That's very, very, very proud of you, mate. Certainly, he never did. So Silverhawks is like a space 1940s, 50s cops and gangsters in a sci-fi setting. Absolutely right. Now, he is, while he's a primary villain, Monstar's characteristic is not just one-dimensional. There are also glimpses of vulnerability and internal conflicts, like all bad guys, making him a more nuanced, intriguing antagonist. I think he's certainly got quite a lot of scope when it comes to that. So in contrast, I think Monstar serves as a stark contrast to the noble, sort of selfless Silverhawk, Quicksilver guy, emphasizing the show's central theme, typical in the Reagan era of good versus evil and the importance of standing up against the tyranny of evil. There you go. Two key characters, Quicksilver, Monstar. They play crucial roles in shaping the dynamic and conflict in the Silverhawks universe. And if you really want, and you are crazy about Silverhawks, I cannot recommend these two figures enough. Awesome. Well spent. About $300 all up. There you go. Well, that's enough of me and my Silverhawks. I got to say, pretty good. I'm very happy with that. I hope we get a Commander Stargazer. Yes, I hope so too. So, yeah.
As just a really cool looking bad guy, he's a really cool looking bad guy. So yeah, he's like I don't know anything about this series, but he looks like he can,
so imposing,
cause some damage.
So imposing. He definitely can cause a lot of damage. But I don't know. Super 7, look, might be worth, if you guys want to buy it, go ahead, check it out. I really hope Ramen Toys will make the entire cast, and I'm sure if they're granted. You know what worries me? I think maybe Super 7 are looking at Ramen Toy and going, man, you guys are doing really good work with Quicksilver and Monstar. We're going to maybe go take the license back. Do you think that might happen, Simon? Sometimes I don't know.
Who knows? I mean,
yeah. Anyway, I'm sure he can make you dinner, Will. I'm pretty sure. He's a very cool figure. Anyway, okay. We've got a lot more stuff. We want to talk quickly also about some of the reveals from San Diego Comic-Con 2023. But what else have we got left? As far as
I've unboxed all of my stuff.
you've unboxed your stuff, so highly recommend Magic Square Transformers.
Oh,
yeah.
look, if you're not in Transformers at all and you want to get into Transformers and you don't have space or you just want a small collection of things, then Magic Square is the way to go, in my opinion. Just they look the part and they're fun Transformers. Yeah, you can't go wrong. So yeah, very, very, very highly recommended from my point of view.
I think Simon actually did ask me to look into getting just the entire set of Decepticons. Are you still toying with that idea, Simon, or not?
I'm not. Well, down the track. I am.
Well, Simon, I'll let you play with my Shockwave, and then we'll see.
No. I just circumstances at the moment don't allow me to purchase too much.
Fair enough.
Mikey, you want any space squids? Because Con is offering.
So he rides a space squid into battle. That's pretty cool.
All right. Okay. So, Simon, kick off. What are some of your reveals you thought really caught your eye at 2023 SDCC?
Well, look, for me, SDCC was pretty much the G.I. Joe classified show. The stuff they were putting out there was just amazing. I mean, some of the renders they showed for the Dreadnoks, the General Hawk, the Mutton Junkyard, the Crimson, the free pack with the Crimson Guards, Tomac, Zaymot, and Baroness. We're getting an SMS missile launcher, so obviously now we know why there was a tow hook on the back of the Hiss. The Vamp with Clutch. I mean, did you see the Cobra Fire Team, the FSS Fire Team? That's some nice black and red repaints are always good, and I'm gonna have to get one for each Hiss tank.
So what are we looking at now? Full Force. Do you want to go through some of the reveals here? Can you see that, Simon?
Yeah, no problem. So obviously we got the Viper, which has just been announced, which has got a really cool looking skull mask there. That's a fantastic looking figure. Just the accessories they're throwing in with these are just amazing. Tiger Force Flint. I guess I'll pick him up, down the line. It's a good figure. Go with the rest of the Tiger Force guys. Obviously not super enthusiastic. Steel Brigade. I don't know.
I'm looking forward. You're not sure? Not sure?
I don't know. It's just I find the concept of just regular soldiers in G.I. Joe, like, I don't know. It's supposed to be like this elite team. You know what I mean? Like, I guess because obviously, if people don't know, the Steel Brigade was a mail-away figure back in, the Real American Hero days. And if you sent in enough points, you could get a custom file card with your name on it, So it was like you as a Joe. But I was out of Joe by the time that stuff came around.
Oh no! I wanted you to get that. I wanted to have your little Simon file card.
No, I was aging out. I was aging out at that stage.
So that's the thing. You just never do a me and never age out.
Python Patrol repaints. I'm not crazy about. I understand from a business perspective. I don't know if I'll go picking up those. But that Mutton Junkyard there that was shown off in the cabinet, that looks insane. 2 heads for the dog. Beautiful.
I only learnt about Mutton Junkyard recently. So Mutt is the guy and Junkyard's the dog. So that's pretty cool.
That's right. There's a picture of that fire team with a crash dragonfly in the back. The tripwire looks great. Like a lot of people have said, that when Classified started out, it wasn't, trying to do slavish copies of the the G1, so to speak, stuff. But if you look at that tripwire, if you go a couple more pictures along the tripwire, next to that, that one. Like, like if you had the original tripwire, like this is such an updated version. Like this looks like a modern, improvised explosive detonating guy. Whereas the other one was just a guy like with a helmet and a metal detector. Cool. He had a backpack which had 3 landmines in it, but that looks insane. That figure, look at it. And he comes with a pet rat too. That's one thing that the Joe Classified guys do well. It's like the animal sidekicks.
The amount of accessories that they have as well is just astounding in terms of what,
but then, obviously you've got the they've done the slideshow at the panel. Like we got the van, which means we're going to get a stinger down the line. No two ways about that.
Yeah.
And obviously the Chuckles, the SDC special. I'm not a big fan of Chuckles, so I wasn't jumping to get this one. I'll be quite frank. I'm pretty sure he'll get a release on a card.
It's weird how they it's like Hasbro did a thing where for their SDCC exclusives, you like scanned like a QR code or you got a code that you could put in on Hasbro Pulse to order them. Like it wasn't where you lined up to purchase these,
which I think is fantastic. If only we had fucking Pulse. Sorry, excuse my language.
Yeah, and I think, pretty sure, at least I know I'm pretty sure they later made these available on Hasbro Pulse because I know for Marvel they had the Daredevil and Bob Hydra Agent 2-pack that they, I think, later released and made available after, like without needing the code.
Can I just bring something up?
Panic at the start of the line because it was kind of hard to get. It sold out quick. You had the Target exclusives. But I think now, like, distribution's been solved. Everyone can get what they want. And they re-release it. So,
I think I'm going to take quickly. I think if Jason's watching, I may have to take myself off the interest list for Chuckles because I don't know.
It's a guy.
Can I say with regard to
like he had a really cool mini series in the IDW comic books. Where he was because he's a spy and undercover operative, but. That looks insane. Like I'm looking forward to the Range Viper, but the Range Viper repaints, like these are going to go perfect. One per his tank, one team per his tank.
Yeah. Sorry, Mikey, you going to say something?
Yeah, just with regards to what Simon said with Pulse, the really annoying thing about that is America has had Pulse for years now, and the thing that pisses me off, not the fact that we don't have it is, which we should get it soon because it's ridiculous by this point because I really want Pulse for my Transformer stuff, but the tagline to Pulse is for the fans, and it's not because it's only for a very select group of fans, and the fact that Europe is starting to get Pulse now, only just now, is ridiculous.
Singapore and Hong Kong have it.
Yeah, but America was the only one for the longest time, and the tagline, but the tagline was for the fans. That's not for the fans. That's for America.
Well, I will say quickly, these Spider-Man VHS box sets are a Pulse exclusive, so they're not accessible in Australia. So I have to find other avenues to get them, and it's annoying.
Look, I'm certain Hasbro would love us to have Pulse, but I think realistically, like when you're in this business, like you may sign deals with various distributors, like in certain countries, and you may be a clause in there that you can't compete against them.
There are logistical factors. That
while you've got an exclusive distribution deal with like Kmart or Target or something like that, you can't. Maybe there's something like legal that you can't move in and undercut them, and you know what I mean. Like maybe they're waiting for stuff like that.
My problems with the tagline.
I mean, Clinton did an interview with I forgot the guy's name, and I feel bad about that. But Clinton did that interview and spoke to the guy about Hasbro Pulse in Australia, and I mean, he didn't give us much info. I wouldn't expect him to give us any info because I understand there's definitely a lot of things people can't talk about. Rob Sheath, that's it. Thank you. And yeah, Rob did say that obviously it is something they're looking at, but I understand he can't say more than that, and there's a lot of things they can't talk about.
Simon,
we are so close to getting that now, aren't we?
Oh my goodness! End
End
of
of
August.
August, I believe.
How many are you guys getting, just quickly, of each of you? Well, Clinton and Simon.
Just-
Mike, I don't
just
think
2.
Mikey's getting one.
I'm
Just
getting
2.
7. Just 7.
The plan is. So Simon's got 2. I've got 2 on the way. We're planning on doing this massive photo where we're putting all our troops together, including his
I
dad.
cannot wait for that. This thing looks
That's going to be a
stunning.
weekend. Like, we're not going to be able to do that in one evening.
Can you put some Warhammer repaints in there as well, just for
Oh,
spice?
we'll sneak one in the background.
Well, yeah,
I might-
you
I
guys.
might
It would
have
be cool if you
Mustang
guys
driving
could, like,
over, you'll just see a Space
Yeah.
Marine's arm coming out from under the
I
truck.
mean, some of the sets you've built, Clinton, I can imagine you guys could get something really good going with these his tanks.
I think
Wait till next year when the Dragonfly arrives.
that's the
Well,
challenge.
that's another thing. How many dragonflies are you getting, Simon?
Just the one, man. Just the one.
The one? It is huge, to be fair. It is massive.
Exactly. Like, is it? There's just. I would love to get a couple of them. You could
Yeah.
probably make your money back on a second one by selling the free carded figures that came with it, if that's your thing. But yeah, like I said, I'll buy. If I bought 2, one would just end up sitting in the garage until I sold it to probably Clinton, who missed out, unfortunately, because he forgot to get on the Zing bandwagon.
Did Zing actually open up pre-orders for a dragonfly?
Zing had them
I
there.
missed it.
I missed
Well,
out.
I
I
missed
missed
it.
out on Dragonfly. Anyway, quick. We want to go through a couple of comments. Will goes, remember with Hasbro Pulse, it's about the fans that if you don't live in the USA. Yes. Jason goes, Hasbro's got a good thing going with JB Hi-Fi and EB Zing in Australia. A lot of Pulse exclusives end up being there in the stores anyway, but
A
not
lot.
all of them. True.
Not all.
And
I
Oh,
wouldn't
VHS
mind so
stuff.
much if we could get Joe Classified like out of retail. Like if they had them in Zing or something or EB Games, JB Hi-Fi.
JB's the best for this type of stuff, so fair enough.
there's something I might possibly pose a question to the guys at Hasbro and go, look, it's time. We need Joes. We need Joes here,
Yeah.
rather than have to outsource them somewhere else. So,
I
Do we not
hope
have
they're
Joe's
not
in
like-
stores?
They got burnt. They had, remember, was it Toy Mate? Had the
Yeah.
very first wave. And
Right.
I can
Yeah.
still go into the one in my local shopping centre in Penrith, Western Sydney, and I could buy one of those Pimp Daddy Destros.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yes,
the
I
only
remember
one.
him.
That's the
He's
only one
everywhere.
I've seen on the shelf. Like
That
that's
was a
every
stupid
toy
figure
mate.
to put in the first wave because that is a pretty
If
deep
I go to a
cut.
toy mate and I don't see a Pimp Daddy Destro there, I question whether I'm actually in the right store.
But other than that,
yeah. Anything else,
last one
Simon?
I saw was a Flint and Lady J out at Mount Druitt Westfield Toy Mate, and that was it.
Any other notable reveals that you?
The Trouble
you-
Bubble, like those are all 2-ups down there, and then there's
Yeah.
the Super 7 figures.
Where's the
which are
Trouble
not
Bubble? I'm trying to find Trouble Bubble. Did they show it?
Go up, you'll see some photos of the cabinet. It's in the cabinet. There's a glass
Uh,
cabinet display there somewhere.
Trouble Bubble, baby. No, the cabinet. Where we're looking. Cabinet.
Keep going back past the Super 7 stuff. All the way down, Clinton.
All the way down, baby. Okay. All right.
Go all the way down.
All right.
There you go. You see you'll see a shot of it there. Somewhere in there, like
I saw the dragonfly. That's
there it
we
is.
go. Up here.
Shrek.
There we go.
There's a
Yeah, there
better
we go.
shot somewhere of Bazooka shooting there.
Yeah.
And the rock and roll. It's just like he's got a interchangeable hand where he's throwing up
Even
the devil
just the
horn.
detail on those blast effects, like
Oh, look at that baby.
insane.
Look at that baby.
Oh, you
Oh.
can abduct
That-
people in a helicopter.
Yeah. So, yep. Trouble
Yeah,
Bubble.
so there
It's
was
not-
only the one HasLab reveal at this con. I'm surprised none of the brands revealed outside of Star Wars, but understandably, I guess they didn't want to they didn't want to steal any of their thunder.
Well, I think they probably
Um,
learned their lesson trying to run too many HasLabs at once. Like, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not
that
saying
as well.
what have they failed? I guess the Cookie Monster thing was the first, but we've had the Rancor,
Well-
the Ghost Rider car.
Star Wars in particular has had 2 in a row that have failed quite miserably.
And look at
So
the crap. If they had,
Yeah.
mean, this one's been argued before, but if with the Rancor, if they'd thrown in like Ula and the Rancor Keeper,
Yeah, but
instead
we
of
weren't
some
getting that
friggin'
figure.
plastic bones, maybe
Yeah.
it would have sold.
Oh, if we got Ula, it would have 100% sold. But there's no way they're going to put that an Ula
All
figure
right,
in that.
Talon. Stanley goes. Yeah, Stanley's telling me to do this. Let's look at some more reveals. Let's have a look. So what else? So were any other notable items for you, Simon, before we move on to?
Not really. I mean, there's a lot of really cool lines, like some of the stuff NECA had there. There was some newcomer who had a really great looking Leatherface figure. But otherwise, I'm starting to consolidate a little bit now. I can't collect everything anymore. So it was really about the Joe stuff for me. I was looking out for the NECA Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't see any new releases there because that's a line I'm super invested in.
Well, we can. We're super invested. I mean, we are super invested in it, all right? So
yeah, I'm going to go all the way. Con needs a body massage to go with his pork chop sandwiches.
Body massage machine.
Let's look at a couple of reveals here that I think were nice. Ooh, so
that's pretty major.
Yeah, so this is from Fush, right? To me, my notable ones are the Cat's Lair. Might possibly, I think Pop Culture now has them up for pre-order. I did say to Con yesterday that if he still wants the tank, Pop Culture does have the tank. I would recommend buying both the tank as well as the layer from Pop Culture. Please do yourself a favor. These guys are here in Australia. They do, I think, free shipping over $100 nationally. Just don't muck around.
That'll come in handy for something like this.
Yeah. Are there any shots of is the Thunder tank? Does that fit under the paw?
No.
Ah.
No, they won't.
What's the damage Pop Culture's asking for on this
Elkhorn? Can you go back down to Elkhorn?
Yes,
baby.
Yes. So this was also something that I really dug as far as reveals were concerned. But sorry, we're going to answer your question. Sorry, Talon. What did you say?
Just what's Pop Culture asking for the Cat's Lair?
I think about $1,200 from memory.
Sounds
so it's
about right. But yeah not cheap.
And it's about $900 anyway. And I said to Con, he's better off just getting it from there if he wants it. So for some reason, he wants my tank. And this also I really like the Ghoulies, Syndicate Collectibles, 7-inch action figures. I'm not sure if you guys were ever big fans of the Ghoulies. I loved the movies.
Which is the one that comes out the toilet? Is it the little green one, second from the left?
Yeah, I can't say I'm a massive fan, but
VHS. You remember you'd go to like the old VHS store and it would always be on the rack there and he was just staring out of that toilet bowl at you.
Yeah, I can always appreciate when a brand, brings out figures or does something with niche, brands like this. I think that's cool.
Yeah. That Cat's Lair, you're absolutely right, man. Oh, and this for me, man, I tell you what, NECA are kicking goals with the entire TMNT line. I mean, Talon, you bet. I mean, look, I don't know if you agree with me, but they're doing all these. I mean, the tooling. Seriously,
they're the
man,
best turtle figures we've ever gotten.
I mean, the amount of like characters, even like deep cut ones, like ones that appeared for only like one episode. They're tooling them. They're making
not
them.
even like a split second of an episode.
And I don't know how they're doing it.
They'll include accessories from one animation cell of one episode. It's insane. Look, I've said my piece about the QC. Won't touch more on that. But yeah, the detail and like there's so much fun. I think like it is the best line of Turtles figures we've ever gotten, and it's obviously that cartoon line is pretty much wind down now. There's not much more they can do with it, so it's cool to see them diving a lot more into the Mirage comics.
Mirage, that's why they're doing the Mirage stuff as well. And by the way,
this Rat King looks amazing.
Yes, and speaking of Mirage, I think I was very fortunate to be able to meet Kevin Eastman and managed to get him to sign some of my Mirage figures while he was here at Supernova.
I do hope that once they sort of finish off this Mirage stuff, which will be a while, they can maybe start branching off and doing some of the 2003 series. But I think there might be another licensing problem with that one.
This is an amazing. I mean, look at the sculpt, look at the colors.
Yeah,
Wow,
it's amazing.
highlight. So yeah, I think for San Diego Comic-Con, Cat Slayer, the NECA stuff as usual, TMNT, the NECA stuff for D&D, the Ghoulies from Syndicate Collectibles, and definitely the Joes. Looking forward to a lot of those. So yeah, it's quite a good spread.
I mean, you just scrolled past Jada Toys there. Jada Toys had a really good, like, you look at their Mega Man and Street Fighter stuff here. I think Jada Toys deserve a shout out. They've got some impressive stuff on display here.
What size are those Street Fighter figures?
6-inch, I believe.
Okay.
I feel like everyone's making. I mean, you know, we had NECA that did Street Fighter, and then Storm Collectibles that did Street Fighter, and I think
Well,
it's something that's a franchise that will never go away. I think everyone's going to keep
I
making
think
them.
these will be a lot more on the affordable side compared to a brand like Storm Collectibles.
Yes, perhaps you're right. And
Is that
then
Ninja
obviously we have,
Scroll?
sorry,
Is that Ninja Scroll?
the Ninja Scroll stuff is going to come out. I think.
It is Ninja Scroll. Jeez, that was
Yes.
such a good anime back in the day, wasn't it?
Correct. They're going to start making. I think these guys were the same guys that. Yeah, there you go.
Wow, cool.
Ninja Scroll, yeah, prototypes of the show. Fantastic, right? So there you go. Cool. I'll stop sharing. And then what else? We want to go. Mikey, do we have something that you would like to have a look at?
Transformer.
Did you send me the link? Transformers. There we go. Yes, you did. Okay, let's have a look at those. Tell us, Mikey, what were your little?
Okay.
We'll have a look at this. Yeah.
In the SDCC reveals, we got a pretty big one. Two that I've considered quite notable. Yep. There we are. Yeah, so if we scroll down, we'll just skip that. Yeah, we have, if you go to the pictures, yeah, basically any of these ones right here. Yeah, these ones will do. So we have our first commander class in the Studio Series range, and it is Ultra Magnus. Now, it was rumored that, you know, are they going to do the cab that transforms into the White Optimus and then the armor? No, they're going a lot more faithful to G1, and it's just a fully transforming car carrier straight to robot, which looks great. He's big and chunky. In my opinion, he looks better than the Masterpiece because he doesn't have the butt flap and all the crappy backpack. And yeah, he just looks really cool. He comes with multiple guns. He comes with a big reissue of the Jetfire blast effect in a different color. If we can go to a different picture that shows the front of him.
Sure.
Front.
Let's go.
Yeah, any really. There's a couple of them.
Not really. Not really suit.
Yeah, there's one. So yeah, he just looks really good. He's very big and chunky, like Ultra Magnus should be. Color looks great. He'll be a really imposing figure in your collection. Should tower over your Optimus that would scale with it. Has an interesting feature where, so in the original script of the movie, when Ultra Magnus dies, he wasn't supposed to just be blown up. He was supposed to be corded by 4 sweeps. And this toy has a functionality being that you can actually remove the arms and legs as an actual feature. So you can actually quarter him. So this toy can actually be quartered, which is cool. Completely not necessary at all, and hopefully it doesn't hinder.
Are you sure that's a feature, or it just breaks apart?
No, if you go down here, you can see he's missing a leg or two, and yeah, it's part of the features, which is interesting. So you can see how big he is. This is actually an Ultra Magnus, unlike any of the previous Ultra Magnuses we've had. It can actually hold 3 or 4. There you go. So you can
finally someone that took a sharp picture.
Yeah, you can. The blast effects look great. You can remove all the things, the limbs, and he actually has a spring-loaded chest. So when you open up the first layer of his chest, the doors automatically spring open to house a matrix, which he comes with. and he has articulated fingers. So he's very masterpiece for not being a masterpiece. So yeah, they've really put all of the thought and engineering into this guy, and he looks like he's a very, very decent. He looks like a very, very decent commander class figure. He has the red bumper, which I know he does in the cartoon, but like I don't know if everyone fully agrees with that. But yeah, but no, he looks really good. Can actually be a car carrier, which is cool. And yeah, he's really cool. And Jason has said, "Oh my god,
Oh my god, Rob,
Rob,
it
if-
fell apart. What can we do about the QC on this figure? I don't know, Bob. Can we just tell him to find the original movie script?
yeah." So there you go. So he easily falls apart. So they're calling it a feature now. So good one, Hasbro. But yeah, no, he looks really cool. It looks like he'll be a great addition to your really like a 10 times better. Like I like the leader class, but I think this is a much better version. So that's Ultra Magnus. He looks good. And then we have, if we go down,
Yeah.
what else do we have here?
There we go down. Yes. Keep going down.
So if we go down a bit,
Yeah.
so if you just not too quick. So there's obviously a Decepticon version. You can get your Decepticons in a multi-pack from the first movie. That's pretty cool, I guess, from your studio series. So you've got your leader class Blackout, your Voyager class Megatron, and Starscream, and your deluxe class Barricade, with different paint schemes. And yeah, so if you missed out on the first versions of these, yeah, good on you. That's it goes well with the other Autobot pack that they've released. Hopefully they release the other 2 Decepticons as well. And then if we go down, the major talking point that I want to talk about, if you go up a bit, just a tiny bit, we have the repaint of Hotshot. So that's the yellow guy that's firing the gun. Yes.
See that one? That's a good.
No, that's Toxitron.
Middle
Yeah.
one.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That's him. So this is the Powerlinks version of Hotshot. But the really cool thing about this is completely new information to us and was quite a shock for the Transformers reveals, is that we're now getting Armada figures that are coming with minicons. So we have Jolt, who's a little helicopter. Not only this, but this version of Hotshot comes with 2 extra guns and blast effects and a minicon. So he'll probably cost you about $50, $60 instead of the $45 deluxe class price. And there you go. The Decepticon movie 1 multipack is already on Amazon AU. There you go. So go and get that if you want that. The interesting thing about this is Jolt should be, to go with this version of Hotshot, he should technically be yellow instead of orange. But I have a theory that they're going to release all of these multi-packs. So like they're going to release Starscream as Thundercracker and Galvatron, and then the Powerlinks Prime with the minicons that should have come with the releases of the figures that were already out. And then they're going to release a multi-pack of minicons for that would suit these figures. So that's a bit questionable, but anyway. So that's really cool. And then we've got pictures of Toxitron, the Toxitron collection, which is coming to JB Hi-Fi, which is really cool. They're all funky, you know. You've got so all of these toys were based on unreleased G2 Transformers, and we're finally getting them, which is really cool.
I was
really
going to
cool
say,
wave.
wasn't G2 Grimlock blue?
Yes, but the unreleased version was yellow.
That was just
So
like a picture, wasn't it? Like some artwork that.
Yeah,
yellow
so this is
trim.
based
I
off
remember
all
seeing
of the unreleased artwork of including the Stunticons, which they're doing, and yep. And
I want to
Toe
say,
Line.
I wonder if we do eventually get like a Cybertron Vector Prime, if he'll come with Safeguard now.
Hopefully, or he'll come down the track. Then we've got the multi-pack of these 2 female Transformers that from IDW 2.0. Nobody really saw this coming. It was probably in the leak, but like yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really cool because they're both snipers, so you have 2 snipers versus set of snipers. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, they're pretty cool. I think one's in a Centicon, so one of them's actually a Decepticon before they're Decepticons.
Very nice.
And then what else we got? Yes, we have the disappointment that is Nacelle because he's the wrong mold. Nacelle should have been a thrust repaint, but he's not. And then we've got an interesting one, which is the white guy right there. Yep. That's our very first pretty accurate looking Nova Prime. So the evil kind of version of the evil Prime that was in the IDW comics and all that. And this is based on the Devastation video game version of Nova Prime. He's a heavy retool of the Galaxy Prime or the Cybertron Prime mold, but he looks great. He looks good for a retool, but not what I'm into. And then finally, the Pulse exclusive StunderCon set. Now we have no idea if we're getting this in Australia. Again, it's a Pulse exclusive, but as Jason says, Pulse exclusive seems to be released at JB. This guy would be really expensive though because it's a Commander and 4 deluxes. So this would probably go for about 400 plus. But the interesting version of this StunderCon set is that they're not just straight up reissues of the figures. They're actually the toy accurate molds. And so they're actually colored to look more like the toys. And I believe Breakdown has a new head. So yeah, that's an incentive to get this one. And the last one that really interested me was this one here. So these two, the one you got here. So this is more proof that we're going to get more Armada figures with their minicons because we have Shatterglass Sideswipe and Whisper, who is a repaint of the original Armada Wheeljack into the Shatterglass version of Sideswipe. But he comes with a minicon as well. So it looks like either this line or the next version of the Transformers, whatever's after Legacy, looks like we're going to be starting to get minicons with Transformers again, which is pretty cool. And unfortunately, now this is a bit unfortunate because we are getting this in Australia, but it was a Zing pre-order. They only bought 50 in, and I was actually lucky enough. I didn't know they only bought 50 in because I bought mine straight away, just because I really wanted the minicon and I love Shattered Glass. Apparently, a lot of people are annoyed because they only bought 50 in, and there's more than 50 fans that want this toy set. So hopefully Hasbro can do something about that, unless Jason knows something different. But yeah, that sold out. I was extremely lucky because I just went and bought it straight away. I didn't even think I was gonna let it wait, but yeah, I just pre-ordered that thing straight away. So Jason, let us know if we're getting this any other way. But yeah, at the moment, the 50 pieces of this set they brought in have all sold out. So there you go.
Nice, very good.
Oh, and then you got nothing really, nothing major, just some Studio Series stuff. We're getting a Ratchet, and yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
Oh, so Jason has said something. So EB and Zing got 50 pieces, but Gamesman seem to have plenty on their website. Okay. So good on Gamesman. I gotta say,
Gamesman are pretty good. You can get a lot of stuff on their website. They seem to be upping the game now as far as toys are concerned.
Are they upping the games, man?
They've got to diversify. People don't buy as many physical copies of games anymore like they used to. They're downloading them.
Diversify.
They do a lot of role playing, RPG stuff. I bought a few things from.
God, I love diversity.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we're going to look at something else. We're going to look at Talon. It's your time.
Talon.
I didn't know Con was actually. I didn't know Con was actually here.
What floated your boat? Did it sink your anchor or float your boat?
I want to say it sunk the anchor a little bit for Marvel Legends. I mean, I do want to say that. I mean, PulseCon is this coming month in August, so I do want to say that I think a lot of the Hasbro brands have held back quite a bit of stuff for PulseCon. But yeah, like what you're showing on the screen, obviously X-Men 97, upcoming cartoon continuation of the 90s series. Yeah, so these figures are going to be coming out on the retro cards. Bit of an updated look, closer to what they're going to look like in the upcoming show. I think most of these are an easy pass for me, despite how good a lot of them look. Like Bishop looks great. I think Wolverine
Looks like
especially
David
looks really
Stanley.
good.
That looks like David Stanley.
There you go. Dave's
Oh
got his
yeah,
own action
the
figure.
cartoon does. Yeah, I can see that.
All right.
Although it's not Dave Stanley because it doesn't have a knife accessory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need a big knife to be Dave.
Yeah. Gambit. I mean, they haven't really put a foot wrong with their Gambit figures. They've all been great. Same with
Sure.
Wolverine. I think Wolverine looks great. Only one I'm really considering picking up is Magneto, just because I guess the sculpt is a little bit better than the last one we got, which was in that 3-pack with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Like this one's like sort of, I think it's kind of the same body, but it's got like pinless joints. But I kind of like the old one because it had all the metallic paint and that, and I kind of prefer those older X-Men figures because the deco is a lot nicer. And it's a shame they haven't really been able to do it since.
Do you know what this one looks like? The Toy Biz version. You want a Toy Biz version? I've got it one. Yeah, I can give it to you. All right. Anyway, what do you think of this guy?
Wolverine looks great. There's like sculpted hair detail on his arms, and you got sort of the loose mask accessory there. So I think he is probably the strongest figure of this wave. Like Wolverine, I think is with most X-Men waves. Yeah, like that is a great looking pose. Yeah, like it's hard for them. It's hard for Hasbro to put a foot wrong with Wolverines. I really want them to give us an astonishing X-Men Wolverine, and hopefully, I'm sure he's around the corner.
Oh, I don't know about her, man. Rose colors look a bit off to me. I just need that saturated, super saturated. These seem really muted. And also her face, her head sculpt. Just I don't know.
The Juggernaut Bathrobe wave Rogue was fantastic. Like it had green metallic paint and everything. Also her jacket's different this time around. It's not like a brown leather jacket.
No,
more of a green jacket.
Yeah.
She just won the Masters.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
So that's for this stuff. They also showed off a Build-A-Figure wave. They showed off so they showed off a Marvel Knights wave that's going to include a Mindless One Build-A-Figure. Some great looking figures in that wave. Power Man Luke Cage, a modernized Blade. I think that's probably. I think that's going to have a lot of people excited. And then there's some more obscure characters with teased, like Krista. I think you scrolled past him before, and then there was Kid Justice they're going to eventually release, which is someone I don't think a lot of people would have expected to bring out. And then there was also one thing kind of interests me is they showed off a Shield agent and Hydra, a female Shield agent with a female Hydra army with a female Hydra trooper. So I believe that's going to eventually come out in some sort of 2-pack, which would be good for army building. Which leads me to the gripe I have with Mindless One being a Build-A-Figure is, being an army builder, it's kind of annoying when people have to buy multiples of these standalone characters to get, an army of Mindless Ones. And I do actually want to kind of plug ACBA, and I want to plug Boog. He did mention on their podcast that he floated the idea to the Hasbro team to do an all army builder wave at some point with an army builder bath, because like that would make a ton of sense, and obviously that'd move a ton of those units as well.
Okay. Gameman added a toy section to the website. Definitely getting serious about figures. Yes. Those 1997 X-Men figures look amazing. However, Jason does agree that the colors on those seem a bit muted, which is interesting for a 90s set cartoon. Yes, I agree. Did you want to send me another link to look at some of the other bits and pieces, Talon? Or
I think there were other ones you could view. I think there was another one we could wave.
Toy Arc? Is it Toy Arc?
Yeah, it was. That included the links to everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's see if we can pull up that one, and let's have a look here. Okay, let's pull up the Toy Arc. Share screen over here and see whether we got Toy Arc. There we go, Toy Arc news. good resource, good website. Love this website, by the way. These guys they always do a fabulous job when it comes to toy news. So
Oh yeah, so right there you can see the female Hydra Trooper. So that's from the booth photos. Yeah, she looks great. So I believe, yeah, and then that clear guy there's Krista. Not a character I know a great deal about, but he does look really good. And it's great for people who are going to be getting it's great for it's always great when they bring out new characters. I think it's something I always appreciate, and people who are actually like fans of certain characters, finally getting, who could never fathom a company bringing out figures of that character. It's cool for them to see characters they've always wanted to see figures of. There's also a comic, more classic looking Vision back there that you could that you can see. He looks really good. Some nice deco on him. Head sculpt looks really good. I'm sure he'll be coming out at some point in the near future. There was also, as far as the teasers go, I don't know if you'll be able to find it, but there was a Princess Power tease, which I don't know a lot about the character, but just in terms of the overall sculpt and size of the figure, it's promising. It's promising signs for a She-Hulk, a really good She-Hulk figure at some point. And this here was the only Spider-Man reveal, which is the next VHS box set after MJ and Green Goblin. It's the Smythe and Peter 2-pack. Smythe, another one of those scientists, some shit went down and he, kind of got mutated. He was prevalent in the animated series. I don't know if I haven't really seen him much in the comics. I don't think he was in any pre-existing comic run before the animated series. But yeah, I'm sure he might have been after that. I know Alistair Smythe actually did appear in the Amazing Spider-Man, but wasn't mutated in that one. And then in a 2-pack with Peter Parker, obviously.
very nice.
So yeah, I'll be picking that up. Another new villain to add to the Spider-Man villain shelf. So definitely,
And,
pick that one up.
Of course, I haven't bought any of these yet.
I haven't got that either yet. I'm hoping JB Hi-Fi gets them at some point because I know JB Hi-Fi will offer them for a steal.
Yes, totally. Yeah, I'd recommend getting.
Well, I've got Wolverine, but that's it.
Yeah, not bad. So, any other notable reveals for you, Talon?
I already plugged Jada Toys about how I was impressed with their stuff. I think my favorite reveal of the whole convention, to be honest, isn't really a toy, but Factory Entertainment did announce that they're doing a prop replica for the next generation tricorder, which I really want to get.
Yep.
Cool. Seeing the way that thing functions as well is really impressive. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, wow, massive episode tonight. Huge. I don't think we have time to go through any of the other bits. We were going to look at the Battle Sisters, but I think, we can leave that for a different day. Don't you agree, Simon?
Well, Warhammer is just such a big subject. I believe it deserves its own episode every week to talk about a new aspect.
It definitely is. But before we leave. New repaint. Hey, this is not a repaint. Look at that. I mean,
I know that. Yeah,
get out of
I
here.
have seen those. They look really nice.
Look at that. Boulder bitches.
I was gonna basically, like I said again tonight, just unbox a couple of these. But I think we have to leave our audiences on that note. I mean, look at that, sensational.
What
that
a
is
line. Joy Toy are not messing around anymore, man. They're doing such good stuff.
Yeah. I like I said, to revisit these guys after that episode where we did purely on just 40K Warhammer stuff. I had a look at these again, and I'm gonna after this episode tonight, when we sign off, I'm gonna actually open the other boxes. So we're meant to do it on this episode, but like I said, after 2.5 hours, I think we've done a pretty good.
We just ran a feature length. Oh.
Yeah, we've done a lot of reviews. I talked about it and also unboxed a few toys. So yeah, cool. All right, gents. I think that's been good. Thank you so much for everyone for coming on tonight and keeping us company, and also participating in the comments and giving us your thoughts. Stay tuned. Don't forget, we will be giving away this guy, Bumblebee, on a next live stream when we do the roundtable.
And honestly, I'm just gonna say, whoever wins that, you're gonna be like straight into Magic Square. Bumblebee is the one that will, trigger you into wanting to get, so many more of these beautiful little transforming robots.
That is.
I'm just gonna give Simon one, and then he's just gonna have to just buy them all.
I will say that I think Con actually touched on it earlier, and then like in terms of these being small, I think I do feel like I get where Con's coming from there, that Transformers should be bigger and sort of have a bigger shelf presence.
Yes.
But not everyone has the room. This is a great alternative.
That is true. But I just
Oh no, I love big Transformers.
I feel the same way about what Con said.
Yeah. But I just feel like there's the fact that there's so many Magic Square offerings at the moment, and not only that, but there's so many color versions of each figure, that you have every different version you'd want. And the thing is, Masterpiece has only put out so many figures so far, like officially. If you don't even collect third party, then you've got hardly.
Yeah, then you're going to be waiting a while.
You'll be waiting a while. Whereas Magic Square has already made like almost all of like season 1 and 2, and they'll fit on.
They're probably going to do another Optimus before they do like half the season. Before they do another one of like the more than meets the eye cast Autobots or mini. Yeah. They'll probably do another. Honestly, they'll probably do another Optimus before they touch on any mini bot outside of Cliff Jumper.
Yeah.
I think it's a given that any company that makes Transformers in any way is always got another Optimus up its sleeve.
You can never have Optimus.
I feel that when Fans Toys do eventually give us their Optimus, it might be game, set, and match.
We'll have to see how that is it Marg, the Ultra Magnus?
Yeah. Ultra Magnus.
Because I believe that is like the Optimus body with the armor.
Yeah, that's how they plan on releasing it. We'll see how that works.
I think it's going to be. It won't be Fans Toys. It'll be RP02.
No. They're not going Robot Paradise. They're going with something else, but I keep forgetting the name.
Whatever. They're just
whatever it is. We know who's
really
behind
they can wrap up quickly and put in a liquidation.
Hey, quickly before we go, massive thanks to Loy and also Cool Toys Club. Hey, Loy, he is the proprietor and owner of that wonderful establishment. And thank you so much for, your support. Like I said, this episode is made possible by your establishment, so thank you. Check out their website for all things that are Magic Square Transformers, Mythic Legions, what else? 40K, High Toys. Yep. Yes. Quickly, we're going to look at a couple of comments before we sign off for the evening. Going back to Con, thank you guys. Love you guys, since I don't really have anyone up here in Darwin to share my love for this stuff and hobby. Thank you guys. Keep doing these vids. We love you too, Con. Thank you for watching the episode. Michael, I will see you in Melbourne very shortly. Feature-length episode or half a Snyder Cut episode. It is a long one.
Yeah,
it's probably our longest. It's probably our longest live stream. Actually, it is.
I told you it would be long.
I know, but we had to cover so many things, and also
I'm not complaining. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So
Yeah. Simon said that space is an issue earlier, so he should be up for a legend scale collection. So if you want a legend scale collection,
you backed yourself into a corner, Simon.
I should be, but I'm too heavily invested. Look around me. Look around.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, but they're so small. They'll take up so little room.
I'm so close. I can see
like I
the
said,
end.
Yeah, so if you want legend scale Magic Square Transformers, guess where we go to get all your goodies? Shall we do it? Shall we play it? Let's do it.
Yeah.
This episode of Toy Reel is proudly brought to you by Cool Toys Club and Joy Toy World.
Sorry, I cut.
I have the hardest time believing that's Dave.
It's
Dave.
Great voice.
Till all I won, you guys, Captain Australia Studios, you
Hey,
too,
Jamie.
Mikey. Jamie, how you going?
See
And
you Saturday.
Jason goes, Simon backed himself. Simon backed himself in a corner, which is astonishing because there isn't one free in his room.
That is true. That is true.
Okay, that's fantastic. Cool. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks to everyone for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, we will do some Magic Square episodes, and also we'll do more Joy Toy.
I
40K
believe
stuff.
we may have a massive G.I. Joe classified opening pretty soon.
Yes,
We got a lot. We got a lot coming from the man.
I actually, yeah. Speaking of things we've got coming, I have something coming that's really interesting that I didn't think I was going to buy, but it looks really cool, and it's a transformer, but it's not your typical transformer. So I'm keen to open that up with you guys. So yes,
you didn't get that Robo Send Grimlock, did you?
Good God, no! I don't have that kind of moolah.
That was
Is this what you telling us, Simon? Oh, well,
Sorry,
did
guys.
you get Roberson Grimlock, Mikey?
God, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, those things do not appeal to me at all.
I was going to say, Simon, is this your way of telling us you've gotten a shipping notification for the Hiss tank or something?
No. Not yet, but I do believe that I need to have some money set aside at the end of August for those.
There's lots coming.
It is due fairly soon, I think.
Yeah. We'll have that pretty quick. That's going to be a good show when we unbust the whole Cobra army.
All right, gents. So don't forget to sign off. Stay tuned. We are going to give away this guy on our next episode. So make sure you tune into our live streams. There's going to be a roundtable episode, once again brought to you by Cool Toys Club. And on that note, thank you, gents, for joining us tonight. All of you guys participating as usual, chewing the fat, loving toys, and checking all things toys news from SDCC 2023. Thanks, gents. On that note, we will say goodbye. Right. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tune in, and till next episode, goodbye. Bye, people.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Ciao.
Ciao.